Aha, welcome to Drakenmemoria. For those of you wondering what this is, well, it's Dungeons & Dragons, or more specifically, a group of people playing Dungeons & Dragons. So if this is not something you want to watch, well, there's always alternative. Depending on where you're watching this, you can look on the right or on the left, and there usually are suggestions there. But if it's actually something you want to watch for any reason, because you liked a previous session, because you like us, because you like making fun of us, so long as it remains polite, it's all good reasons, and we're glad that you're there.
Oh, you only have to watch us.
Yeah, well, actually, tonight, only everyone else but you.
Yeah.
That's not that. You see, that's why it's not fair. We have one player who is sick, but he is pulling through, and so that is why we don't have his camera for tonight. But that means he can make fun of us, he can make faces to us, and we won't know about it. Fortunately for you, it also means he can throw up, and you won't know about it.
Yeah.
You might hear it though. So.
I'll make sure to mute myself.
Yeah, especially for two things, throwing up and diarrhea, you know, those two. It's,
Oh, yeah.
well, it's all context, you know, you never know. If Tobiyashi goes to the bathroom, leave it on, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And just so Chad is aware, we are not sponsored by Pepto-Bismol, so...
I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind.
However, we are available and willing.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that audience already has a shirt of the right color, so we can just put it right beside him, and it should be nice.
We can even do the dance.
I'd rather it would not be me, but if I have to, I will sacrifice myself.
I didn't know there was a Pepto-Bismol dance.
Yeah, you know, every commercial, there's always a weird dance. It changes, it evolves, depending on where they are, you know. They're coming out of a wall or from behind a curtain in an airplane. And when you think about it, that's not the best of place to come out of. A whole team of people there to prevent you from having heartburn, stomachache, and diarrhea. Where do you think it goes when they flush? With that pleasant idea, let's go. Let's get started. So, as always, just a little bit of promotion. The music you're hearing. Oh yeah, I forgot. We actually have thunderstorms right now. Yay!
Oh,
Thunder's gonna arrive in a few seconds. Yay, I managed to finish the thunderstorm and most of the rain, and couldn't find dry lightning, but hey, it's not something that you find very often. So, alright, well, that is it, that is all, and oh yeah, and probably Chaotic Calling joining us later on. For everyone else, well, I hope you're... See, told you there was lightning in there. For everyone else, I was hoping that it would be the background thunderstorm first, but hey, starting it off with a one bang of lightning, not bad. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you all have something to eat. Something to drink, and that you're ready, because we're about to start. So, okay, let's get off the heavy rain. Let's go with a gentle drizzle, maybe. That should be good. All right. So, last episode. Bless you. And no, I'm not granting wish. Sorry, everyone. For those of you who don't speak French, well, it's a reference to what we say in French. So, all right. So let's go. Let's keep on going. Last episode. Well, last episode, not a lot happened because, fortunately and unfortunately, the party prepared for some type of invasion. I'm sort of getting jealous of what you're eating now, Sam.
Forgot another key lime pie for the audience.
Damn.
You raised it just high enough so we could see it on camera. Man, that wasn't nice. I'm slightly mad about this. If it would have been a sandwich, I wouldn't have minded. But that okay. All right, so the party had prepared for a heavy invasion, being attacked on each side, and they prepared it fairly well. All except one side, straight up, and this is where the invasion actually occurred. The enemy wasn't too much in haste to break the defenses of the monastery. They went with a much quieter and longer play than the players had anticipated. And so they turned toward the skies. They asked Tourane to aid as best he could, and he transformed himself into a huge catapult, trying to shove bits of earth, some of them mixed with a little bit of fire that was made to light up the court a little better, and trying to ground some of those attacking from above. When the defenses started to buckle, the charge was resounded, and the enemy tried to get in. They unfortunately managed to damage a large portion of the outer walls. But they didn't completely destroy everything. They retreated only after maybe an hour of attack. And then the party realized that nothing else was going to happen. They just waited and waited and waited, and were left to see just how much damage the defenses had been made. So they all gathered. They knew that there was still a fair bit of hours before morning, but they decided to only take a short rest, as they wanted to start interrogating the apparently only attacker, which had been wounded but not killed by Tourane. And so, that is where we left off. Everyone went into a corner, tried to have a little bit of a power nap, short rest, and then this is where we left off. So then Georg, Audience, and Remy, and Tobiyashi, you all wake up after a 1 hour long break, maybe a little groggy, a little bit sore. You know that you're gonna regret this by the end of the day, as your body is already telling you that, you know, it's the middle of the night, you should be sleeping. I know you're very awake right now because you've only been awake for 4 hours, but I'm gonna make sure you regret it in 4 more hours. But you steel yourself, stretch a little bit, and what do you all do?
When am I gonna get to sleep all the way? I start to go look for everybody else, wherever they're at. Are we all together?
I don't know. Did you decide to all go in the same room to get your long rest, short power nap, or did you all went to where you were sleeping before?
Let's see. Let the dice decide.
That is so Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, I would have stayed. I would have stayed close to at least audience.
Okay. So this means Jorg and Remy. Did you take your break? Well, I probably already know what Remy's going to answer, but did you both take your break near where audience was, or did you went back to your own little things?
Did the Turon Hay, did he take his break around audience and
He went back to into the middle of the courtyard.
okay, that's where Jorg would have
Doing tree things.
rested. Yeah.
You know, swaying in the wind and being fragrant and yeah.
Yeah.
Being fragrant.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you did hear during your break that Turane was most likely casting something, more like a tree version of a prayer, because you can swear that while you were just resting a little bit, you heard the sounds of leaves and roots growing, twisting, immobilizing themselves.
Oh.
And it wasn't him, so something was happening elsewhere. You saw
All right.
you saw a few of the caretakers that Turane called. Patrol by, go to different areas. One of them looked at you funny, and that kept on moving.
All right. How's our prisoner doing?
Right now, he is completely tied up with vines and roots, and he is becoming less and less groggy from all of the mushroom vapors that he was submitted to.
All right. So after the short rest, I think Jorg's gonna stick around by him. But we're done with the short rest?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh, okay, cool.
it's still the middle of the night. I'd say right now it's probably around 1 in the morning, so it's still pretty dark. The cloud cover is broken, so you have moments of moonlight, but they're not constant. But there are a few lights that the priests do have while they're walking and doing their best to patrol. So right now it's pretty dark. And it's a bit frustrating because as you try to move about, you realize that there's a lot of holes in the middle court, in the large courtyard. Deep holes.
From the lightning,
No,
Or
from
is it
all
from
of
the-
the
tree.
projectile that Turane made from the earth in the courtyard.
Oh yeah. Oh, well, I'm okay with those holes. Mother Nature's gonna reclaim this thing anyways someday.
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt Turane. so I'm not going to bother him while he's doing his spell.
Okay.
So I'm just going to wait by the prisoner until audience, I assume, is going to come over.
Probably. And if you...
Yeah, I think it's going to be more intimidating.
Audience will. That will be where audience is headed after he wakes up.
And Remy?
And Raimi was just keeping a vigilant eye over audience as he was sleeping. To protect him.
Of course. Of course. As always. And you were also keeping a watchful eye over Tobiyashi. He looks a bit under the weather right now.
More than usual.
It's the middle of the night, it's starting to be a little damp outside. That dampness when you're outside in the middle of the night and you feel it in your clothes and
Yeah.
You know what? It's like, I imagine that that audience probably, gets up with a bit more of a spring in a step by comparison, and Tobiyashi's just like laying there, still groggy.
I get up, I'm like, oh, finally. Had too much wine last night.
And Raimi just opens his beak. And military trumpet sound.
Okay, alright, I'm getting up. Okay, I'm up.
It's a recording, so you're stuck hearing it all the way.
Oh no.
That's how Kenku
like-
work.
It's like, where's the off button?
I'm all trying to smack like an alarm clock. I'm like,
Where's the
Where's
snooze
that?
on that Kenku? Alright, so audience, as you're getting up, fresh, ready, you see your friends having trouble, you turn around, and then suddenly you hear da 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 da.
Audience is far more focused on the prisoner and trying to get the answers so that they can actually save the world. 'Cause that's what it's all about.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool guys don't look at trumpet noises.
just at explosions. Alright, well, in that case, you all make your way to the prisoner, and Georg, you see everyone arriving. You see audience looking as regal as ever, serious, ready for an interrogation. You can almost feel a flag waving above his head representing his deity. Then you realize it's Remy just minor illusioning a flag behind him. And then, of course, right under this illusory flag, you see Remy, and then Tobiyashi, who seems like, these dogs we always see on YouTube that people are dragging by the leash, and they just don't want to come. It's just... He doesn't look like that, but he feels like that right now. All four legs dragging on the floor.
you can smell the scent of my BO from a mile away. Even through the rain.
You want rain? All right, I'll give you rain. Just a gentle drizzle. It's more gentle than that. No. All right, like that. Just gentle drizzle like that. All right. So apparently, it looks like there's even a little bit of a misty fog around. Sort of like this rain that you can't feel it fall, but you feel it on your clothes because it's a little bit damp. That sort of rain. So, and you can hear it, but you can't see it. All right. Well, you see everyone arriving, and you've been looking at this prisoner for a while, and you noticed on one occasion that one of the caretaker just shoved a mushroom again in his face, and he just looked at you for a moment and said, "Didn't you hear him? He was trying to cast a spell." Oh, maybe it was just my imagination.
He's been touching the mushrooms too much.
So when you arrive, you see Jorg, one of the caretaker. You see one of the caretaker just right next to him, and I remember you. You were there in the woods. Well, the prisoner is he's a little bit groggy. I had to renew his medication. He was trying to cast a spell. He looks at you, Jorg. He was trying to cast a spell, right? He was trying to cast a spell.
Oh, I was muted. Sure, yeah.
Totally.
Like, I am aware of this, Jorg claims.
I was paying attention.
Trying to cast a spell to get free of the vines, So, I was told that you want to, Chaotic Calling just joined us. Hello.
Hey.
So, I was told that you want to interrogate him. He's gonna be a little groggy. So, just keep that in mind. Had to keep him just a little under the weather. He looks around. Pun not intended. Under the weather. Just to make sure that he can't cast. Whoa! What happened? I lost everyone for a moment.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Yeah, your voice cut out for like a frame.
Yeah, everyone went to the Skype default image. Alright.
There must have been a connection hiccup.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he just says he's gonna be slightly groggy. So don't pay too much attention to the rambling. But he should be good enough to answer most questions.
All right, Remy, it's interrogation time. Grab my tools. And with that, Remy just pulls out a little bit of cloth, unrolls it, and you see a rusty dagger, a rusty knife, a clean dagger.
Wait. We're not gonna... As soon as I see that, I'm like, wait, we're not gonna torture him, are we?
I think there's I'm not an expert, but I think there are more effective ways of getting what we want.
Is the cultist awake right now, like listening to, or is the priest awake right now, listening to us?
Oh, yeah, like the caretaker said, he's groggy, but
He's half
he's
awake.
awake. Yeah,
Okay.
he's a bit under the effect of one of the mushrooms, so he's probably just something like interrogation. I've heard about those. I like watching them. Who are we interrogating? Interrogating.
He's like integrating.
Alright. Audience is gonna go up to him and basically be like, I, just have a few simple questions for you, as fellow, friends of how high is he? Can I make an insight? Like would you how aware is he right now? Is he aware of his surroundings?
Yeah, sure. Make an insight check.
Okay. I actually need to know. I need to know a couple things before I know what route I'm taking.
Meanwhile, Rainy is now looking at this whole scene,
16.
interested but also confused. Just like this is an interrogation.
I rolled a 16 on insight.
All right, so he's sufficiently drugged to have a lot of difficulty casting spells. But in terms of awareness, he seems to be generally aware of where he is. As you see him look at all of you, one after the other, but his reaction feels a bit off. Well, he should be a little nervous. He seems to be enjoying himself a little bit. And you get the feeling that quite a few inhibitions are lacking there. So his reactions are going to be more genuine, but also he's going to be hard to scare.
Okay. So, but I'm not going to be able to convince him that, like, he's back safe. Can't take that route. All right.
Maybe
Go for
Yeah, I was
it.
gonna try.
it's going to be an easier persuasion roll, but not a guaranteed success persuasion roll.
All right. So I heard that you have a powerful what's it called? Sacrifice spell coming up soon. You want to tell us about that? You know, really tell us about the power of the hunter god and what he's going to do to us?
Yeah. He's coming soon. Didn't you hear? It's gonna be awesome. He's going to be here. Back among us. It's been a long time.
How is he going to be back among us? How is it possible that one as powerful as him can again walk among us, such lowly beings?
They say he's been trapped for a while. He want out. For some reason. The worlds, all of the shards, they're not as impervious to penetration as the rest of the normal universe? I know it's weird.
So why doesn't he just break free then?
It's like a door. You lock it up from one side, and it's made to keep you in. You have to unlock it from the other side. But only a god can unlock it from the other side.
What god would be willing to unlock the door?
Oh, that's a secret. Shh.
Do you know the secret?
Well, a lot of people have been talking. I know it doesn't make sense, but there's this really wise guy in our... where is it? Why is it so hard to concentrate?
Base.
No, that's not... The base has a roof. That didn't have a roof. But where they're trying to get the god back in, this place has a roof. But, at the den. Yeah, at the den. That's it. Some said that they found a way for the god to be in the prison and out of the prison at the same time. I really want to see that.
Where could we see that? It sounds really cool.
Oh, it's gonna be incredible. Do you know you have a bird behind you?
I do. Don't worry about the bird. The bird is also super excited to see the god. We just want to know where to go so we can see it. We want to witness the hunter god in all his glory.
Remy was holding one of the rusty knives, realizes that they're talking about him, hides the knife behind his back, and nods.
Hello, bird. So, you want to see... Ugh. My head hurts. You want to see the coming of the hunter. You know, hunter hunts birds. You could make a good meal. He'd like that when he comes back.
Huge anime sweat drop.
Yeah. He'd like that.
Well, that's good, because it's actually this bird's purpose in life. All his wishes is to be the first meal of the hunter gods. We really need to know where he is so I can complete this bird's wish.
2 giant anime sweat drops.
There's
An
the sweat
exclamation
drop.
point.
Betrayal.
And then the sweat drop has a sweat drop. Make a persuasion roll. I'll give you advantage on this.
Okay. Come on, dice. Don't fail me. Alright, there's only one roll I can beat that with, and that's not it. So, a 21.
21. Oh. Yeah. I guess I can tell you. I mean, I remember they said that there's a bird in the group that's been causing problem. And I guess you captured it. So they're gonna like eating it. There's a temple. But it's not easy getting to the temple.
Okay.
It's in the middle of a very dark place. And it's a bit of a long way from here. Oh, maybe you won't make it in time. Oh, that would be... Oh.
That would be super sad. We would feel
Yeah.
incredibly sad.
Yeah.
Which direction is it? From here.
It's in the unexcavated city.
I'm looking at the rest of my party like, please tell me someone's writing this down while I'm interrogating.
I mean, you literally look to the walking, talking stenographer.
Oh, true. I always forget that part. Unexcavated city.
Yeah.
So you... Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a good way to travel through the unexcavated city to get there?
If you're friends, you're gonna be fine. You just have to follow your nose. Why is my nose feeling so hard?
So are you saying there's a smell? Is there a certain smell we should be looking for?
No. You can hunt. You can hunt. Sounds like I'm saying honey. You can hunt with your nose, can't you? You just follow the smell of the other priests. It's easy enough to do.
I mean, I can, but this bird, as he wants to be eaten, unfortunately doesn't have this ability. So how would he find it since he doesn't have that ability?
Oh.
What if we get separated somehow? How would he be able to find it? I don't want him to miss out on being the first meal of the god.
Third anime sweat drop.
They're just accumulating. There's a sweat drop on the sweat drop on the sweat drop. Well, just make sure to get in the darkest part of the city. If he gets lost, they'll find him. Don't tell him.
I won't.
They're always moving. It's a little eerie, to be honest. Going round and round, and he looks up when he's saying this. Round and round. Always watching.
The owls.
And then they just snatched you up. I've seen it happen. They like to maim people, but they leave them alive.
It's hysterical. Ha ha. Laugh. Look at that.
Yay.
Make a deception roll. Anyone who's trying to laugh, make a deception roll, please.
Do we get advantage or no?
Jorg's gonna laugh. Ha ha ha. With the 3.
I'd say since audience you initiated this, I'll give you advantage, but for everyone else, it's just normal roll.
Alright. Jorg is not convincing.
18 for audience.
I got an 18 as well.
Okay. Remy?
Jorg got
I need to be reminded of what my deception modifier is. It is. I have not had to use this in a while. Okay. So that is a soft 20 as Rainy imitates a very enthusiastic, drunken laugh.
Okay. And Jorg?
3.
So you get pretty convincing laugh from everyone except Jorg, that probably feels a bit like ha 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 ha.
He's seen plenty of birds catching prey and not too into it.
It's important that they don't kill them. It's for the ritual.
That's a shame.
I point to Jorg. I'm like, he's a little scared of blood. He's kind of a wimp. Don't worry about him.
Oh, so
That's why he wants to be sacrificed.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Don't I know you from somewhere? He looks at you, Tobiashi, when he says that.
Yes, you do. Hits it, dead.
Uh-oh.
Okay, back. I think I've seen you once or twice.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen you before.
I do some work around to get people like these people who want to sacrifice themselves to the altar.
Right. He's looking at you very intently. Make a deception roll.
Okay. Yo. Do I get advantage? No, I got a 6.
I wish I could pan the camera on my dice. The DC was 6, so
Okay.
so you
I
catch him
I
at a
was
moment
6.
where the mushrooms are really taking a strong hold on him, and he goes, "Oh, that hurts so bad." So you're a mercenary, right? I know we've hired some. That must be where I saw you.
Yeah.
What's that
Definitely.
smell? Oh,
Oh, sorry, that might be me.
you know, it's not because we hire you to fight that you shouldn't take a bath from time to time. Even peasant
Yeah.
bathe.
Being on the road a lot does a lot, so haven't had the time to take a bath, or I would.
Alright, so
I start thinking about how good a bath actually sounds right now.
well, there's a slight drizzle, you know, your clothes are getting damp slightly right now. So.
I gotta go find some like soap, some soap plants, and take a bath real quick.
You know what? Just as this is happening, there is now a floating bar of soap hovering around Tobiyashi's head.
Wait, a real one?
You'd have to try and grab it to see if it's true.
Yo, I'm gonna try to grab it. It looks enticing.
So, Remy, is it an illusion or is it one of your...
It's real soap, and it smells like which one would you put out? You know, it would be the cinnamon scented one.
So it's a real bar of soap, and when you smell it, there's a slight scent of cinnamon coming from it.
Oh my gosh, this is like gold. I'm gonna take it and I'll start to wash myself just in the rain.
He's doing the
I go
bird.
behind like a tree really quick. I'm just like, you know.
He goes behind the caretaker and just starts washing himself.
Yeah, just start washing myself. If they could smell me, that means the rest of them could smell me.
So that's why they kept finding you on the island. So
It's actually
Yeah.
alright.
good.
So back to the guy being interrogated. Yeah. Well, if your other friend, well, he looks the part. I mean, he looks like someone who prays to God of primal things. So, are you sure he's one of theirs or one of ours?
Wait, who is he talking to?
The one that looks like a druid.
Yeah,
You're okay.
I am a proud follower of the hunter god.
He throws up a little bit in his mouth.
Make a deception roll.
Uh-oh.
That guy. I'm really into
a
this guy.
16. Yeah. See, look, I even have the dagger that seeks blood, or the little knife. See it? I can prove I'm a part of your.
Yeah, I've always wondered why why do they all call these knives fangs? I mean, wolves only have 2 fangs, but we all have a fang. So how many fangs does that wolf have?
Oh, well, if we're each a wolf, then you'd think we'd each have 2 of these.
But you're not a wolf. You can transform into a wolf, but you're not a wolf.
But maybe it's ceremonious. We're like, giving our fangs as kind of our as a spiritual wolf kind of thing.
Yeah.
Superficially, we can turn into a wolf, but inside, are we really wolves?
He leans in toward you, audience. And says, I see why you want to sacrifice him.
Yeah, he's a lot.
He is simply exhausting.
Okay. So, is there anything else you want? I feel like I should take a nap right now.
Let's see, is there anything else we want? We know it's in the excavated city. We know we gotta get to the darkest place of it. We know we need to leave, like, now, because we might not reach it in time. We know where the where the unexcavated part of the city is. We already know that location. I assume we're just gonna head towards the mountains from that location, like, but inside of it. I think we know there are probably, like, large bird things that we have to watch out for that circle ahead. Do we need any other information from him? Oh, I guess I'll ask. Is there any, I haven't been back for a little while, you know, I've been out gathering blood for the hunter god. Is there any new, just to see if is there any new, like, passwords or anything that we need to know to, tell the priest to let them know we're on their side?
Nope. They're gonna know that it's you, and they haven't changed the lock on the temple, so you should be able to get in.
Excellent. And this lock, can you remind me about this lock? I forgot all about it.
Well, it's a lock. You know? There are these tiles, and you turn them, and you just turn them right, and that's it.
Makes sense. I, of course, obviously don't need this, but as I mentioned, my bird friend might get lost, and in case he's by himself, could you perhaps tell us how he is supposed to turn the tile so he can make himself the sacrifice?
Just leave him in front. They'll get him. There's a hole that they can dump people in. It's gonna be fine. It's alright if he breaks his legs or arms. They just need the life.
Of course, but I'm worried. Of course, but I'm worried, as you said, we may be late, so they may already be, watching the ceremony. We may be running in last second, and I don't want there to be no one there to let us in. So in case he's late and there's no one there to drop him or let us in, I was wondering if you could give us the pattern so we can make sure we can, even if we're late, we can still get there in time to feed him to the god.
make a persuasion roll for this.
Alright.
He's starting to feel like there's something weird about this.
You know what? That's fair, but I'm going for it. Come on. That was an 8. I assume I don't get advantage.
No, but the DC was significantly lowered, but it's still a little under what you needed. So he looks at you and says, "Are you sure you've been to the temple?"
I mean, I've told you, I haven't really been there for a very long time. I've been out hunting people like this to bring back as sacrifice.
Well,
That's why I want to know
if you brought a sacrifice before, then it's the same thing as then. So you don't have to worry about it.
I would bring the sacrifices not all the way to the temple. I'd drop them off with the other cultists, or the other priests, and then they'd finish taking the temple, where I'd go back out on the road.
Then just do that. Because if they haven't,
but this time it's the ceremony. That's what I'm saying. What if they're not here?
If they haven't let you in the temple, it's probably because. What were we talking about?
Us trying to get to the ceremony if all the other priests are gone. That I've never been to the temple.
Right. I thought you said you've been to the temple.
No, I said I've never actually been all the way into the temple. I've been close to it, but not all the way in.
And they told you to get someone to the temple, but they didn't tell you how to enter the temple.
No, they said they'd tell me when it was time. They said someone would let me know when the ritual is about to happen, so I could watch it. I think it's that time now, though, because as you said, we need to get there.
Right. So no, I'm not gonna tell you.
Okay. I'm gonna be like, but your god, this bird has been annoying him, a plague on him. You really will not let us bring this sacrifice to him? Why?
Well, if I tell you, it's not gonna be much of a surprise when you get there. So I can't tell you.
How about you tell us part of it, and then they can tell us the other part. So you're not completely, but you can at least give us a head start in case we're late.
How long have you been with us? I feel like you really haven't been here for a long time.
I've told you, I've been out and I haven't been to any of the recent meetings.
Alright, so if no one has told you, I think I should tell the other guy that you want to sacrifice. Don't worry, I won't tell him you want to give him as an offering.
Okay, that makes sense. You tell him.
Because he probably knows. So you,
right?
The one that's afraid of being hurt. Come here.
Jord.
That's
like, look at it. Like, close this deal, man. Close the deal. Get it done.
So, you know what I'm talking about, huh? If they haven't,
Oh, yeah.
If they haven't told him, it's because they want him to be a sacrifice also. So don't tell him anything.
I won't.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, they haven't told the monk either. Isn't that pretty cool, huh?
That's good.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna mention that to the monk.
So that's gonna be a big surprise for everyone. And there's
Yeah,
even
it's
gonna
pretty
be a
cool.
surprise for you, but I'm not gonna tell you what.
Oh man, I can't wait. Oh man.
So that's how you get in.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Cool. So that's how we get in.
Yep.
Yup. I'll
Yeah.
bring these two sacrifices. Or they don't know it, but I'm gonna bring the two sacrifices up to them, and they'll and then we'll get in that way. Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep.
And come back.
All right. All right.
Don't stay in the room. Just leave them there.
Okay.
It's gonna get bad if you stay in there.
Sweet. Nice. Yeah, that's good. I like to hear that. Cool. Good to know. Thanks.
All right.
Cool.
So
All right.
that's everything. I'm gonna talk again to your friend there, and he points to toward you, audience.
All right.
I'll come back.
All right. So you just have to ask him. Don't worry, I haven't told him that he's gonna be part of the sacrifice. When you get in, just smack him behind the head and wait.
Okay. I'll be sure to do that. Thank you. All right, we gotta go though. We gotta be hurrying. We don't want to be late for the sacrifice.
No, that's very important. The more there are, the more awesome. That feels wrong saying, but still, the more awesome it's gonna be to watch.
Okay.
Now, can you do something for the headache? Ah.
Yes, of course. And then I'll stab him.
Chop his head off. No.
Wait.
No.
Wait.
No.
No.
Solve the
Wait a
headache
minute.
by chopping his head off.
No.
Wait a minute.
I can stab him.
I'll be
Uh,
coming back by the time they decide
hang
to stab him.
Hang on. Your I mean, I'm okay with him being stabbed, but
Well, yeah, Jorg would be okay with being stabbed. Audience,
his
less.
audience, yeah, that's my question. As a paladin,
As a paladin, you're not against smacking someone with the hilt of a blade, but just plain stabbing him.
I've at this point decided that this is war between us and these people, and they've killed a lot of people that I've cared deeply about, and I have moved past my issue of killing these priests that I have seen torture my friends. And I see them more as just like in a wartime, like you kill enemies.
Okay.
Like it's too dangerous to
helpful.
leave him alive, especially as I know they have track. Like if I didn't know that they didn't have tracking and abilities to track, and I assume track their own members, I would leave him. But in audience minds, it's like we're putting everyone at danger by keeping him here alive,
Okay. Well,
which is why I'm stabbing him.
well, you're gonna see in the next few hours how your god feels about this. Fortunately for you, your god is worse than you think. You know. So.
Oh my god, it's gonna be chill.
Raimi just looks over at the ground to the right at the unused knives and daggers that he so carefully rolled out.
I mean, you guys could technically try and stop me. I don't say I'm gonna stab him, but you definitely see me bringing back my sword to stab if one of you guys want to try and stop me.
I'm drying off right now, even though we're in the rain.
Jorg was just gonna kill him anyways.
Uh,
This world of more.
I was gonna say we should take his clothes before we stab him.
Well, it might be late for that. I don't know if you're gonna be able to have a conversation about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I come up
my
and you're
arm
already
is in
stabbing
motion.
him.
Audience is in. Yeah.
So right now, audience is in mid-movement to shove his sword inside the poor guy's heart. So if someone wants to interfere, that is your moment. If not, well, live with the consequence.
Uh,
I guess I'll try to kick it since I just got back. If I'm in range, I'll try to kick his blade out of the way. Do I have to do something?
You have to kick my blade out of the way.
A flying monk. Is it like a flying monk kick? Is that what we're looking at here?
Yeah. That's what you're. Yeah, I'm doing the bicycle kick from Mortal Kombat.
Is that just a hit against my AC? I don't know.
I'd say
Is it Dex or sleight of hand?
no. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go with yeah. How do you? Okay. It's an attack. It's
And then I
against
make a dex
audience
against it?
moving. Audience has okay. So I'm gonna go with. It's an attack against audience AC, but only dexterity AC, not armor, because you're not actually trying to. You just want to hit him. You don't want to hit him where it's gonna get through the armor. So
Yeah.
it's just his dexterity, the 10 plus dexterity, but you're aiming for something very specific, so you're gonna roll with disadvantage.
Okay.
So-
what do I roll?
Audience, an attack roll. So for you, it can be with your dexterity modifier because you're a monk.
All right.
And audience,
Alright.
your AC with only your dexterity is.
It's 13. He has to be 13.
13. Okay. So with disadvantage. So I got a natural 20 on the first one,
Too bad.
Double nat 20.
and I got a
400
14 on the second one.
He beats it.
At the last
Alright.
moment, as you're going to shove that blade inside of his heart, Tobiyashi managed to just kick it out of the way just enough that it goes right next to his ribs.
You just smell me come from the left side.
And then
All you
you're
smell
only
is,
left with frustration
cinnamon.
and a scent of cinnamon.
I'm just like, wait a
Audience,
minute.
audience is gonna give you a look like, what are you doing?
1 second. I kind of go closer to him to speak into his ear. I think we should take his clothes before we get them all bloody.
Audience is kind of gonna step aside, like, be my guest.
All right.
You want to strip the drug
yeah,
monk or
yeah, we
drug
strip
priest?
him,
You
we
can
strip him.
strip the drug priest.
So, I'm gonna go up to one of the trees and ask him to smack him again with one of the mushrooms, since we're done interrogating him.
Can I knowledge nature what those mushrooms are?
The what?
Knowledge nature the mushrooms?
Sure.
Okay. I just want to know if they're like psychedelic or what.
Yeah, I walk
22.
up to the caretaker and I'm like, can you smack him one more time?
Sure. And he just hits him on the head with his arm like this. He just ow!
Alright. I take his priest clothes off, asking them to like unbind him, I guess.
Oh,
and
we're
I
gonna
take
have
his...
to make sure that he's really out of it if you want to do this.
Okay, smack him
Raimi
again.
takes one of the rusty daggers because he's gonna use it. God damn it! And he's just gonna sneak attack, bludgeoning from behind.
And while he's doing that, you have the caretaker just bursting a mushroom right in front of him. Oh, sorry, I clapped really close to the microphone. Bursting one of those mushroom really close to the nose of the priest, and he just starts to go really out of it, and then receives the blow from Remy. You get the caretaker. Well, that's might have been exaggerating a little, but it works.
I quickly take the clothes off of him now, as fast as I can.
Okay. Jordan, what did you roll?
22.
22. You've never seen a mushroom like this, but judging from how fast it reacts, you'd say that there's most likely a magical component to it. Because usually when you hit a mushroom, it doesn't burst into a spore cloud. But this one does. So there is a little bit something unnatural about this. But judging from the reaction, it is a very powerful narcotic. It feels like the guy just took a whole lot of drugs and he's just floating in his own mind right now. Right before he was put unconscious by Remy.
Yeah. As I take off the clothes, I look over at Jorg, and he's dead now, right? The guy's dead in front of me?
No,
Remy killed
he's
him, right?
bleeding from his head, and he's really, really high on something. But technically, his heart is still beating.
Alright, I go over to Jorg with the clothes. I'm like, would you be willing to put these on?
Yeah. It's for the greater good.
The greater.
The greater
good.
Alright, I'm thinking that maybe if all goes to worse, you could look like you're bringing us back, like you captured us.
Yeah.
And at least one of us wouldn't be captured.
I see what you mean. I was more thinking use that as a disguise to get in there.
That too.
And then we'll... Here's my thought. He said it would be a bad idea for me to stay in the sacrifice room. So, I guess actually no. This is the worst case scenario, but let's trap all the priests in there with them.
Okay.
And then let the sacrifice happen. But ideally, we don't let the sacrifice happen.
All right. Sounds like a plan to me. Try not to let the sacrifice happen. Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Well,
why didn't we think of that?
Since he was fairly under the influence of this mushroom, he wasn't talking low enough for you not to hear what was supposed to be a secret. So, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So
you all know what you're not supposed to know. You know.
Yeah, we're all sacrifices. Yeah.
Even me, I think.
Okay. Second question: you want to bathe in his blood so they can't smell? I'm just kidding.
I did think about that, or just
Well, there's that fifth anime sweat drop. Probably started to. I think Ramey's starting to run out of headspace.
It's just hitting the ground now.
Maybe we should just start thinking about the anime sweat drop being squared, you know. Squared. We're gonna go with that from now on.
Alright, well, when we do decide to take off, I'll be waiting over there. And I'm gonna go over and meditate for a little bit. Just by a tree nearby, so I could listen in.
Before Orunak arrived, there wasn't a lot of trees in here. But right now, there's a giant 15-foot one, and there's several 3-foot tall trees walking everywhere. So you have your choices.
Alright.
So, what are you doing with the guy bleeding from his head while severely...
Audience can kill him now.
No, you stopped audience. Audience is done. Someone else can do it now.
I think Remy might want to do it.
The audience is sulking.
You hear him in the corner. Beat him.
I'm like, no, Toby. You stopped me. It's all you, bud.
I mean,
well,
I'm not one to kill somebody without a weapon in his hand.
it does feel dirty, doesn't it?
And so Remy goes back over to his laid out interrogation tools, pulls out the curved dagger that is rusty.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll let Remy have a little fun.
Yeah.
See,
I'm waiting to
everyone
see what
gets
he
a
does.
turn.
All right, Remy.
It's like, all right, Remy, you know what to do.
So exactly, how graphic are you making these final moment? I'm not gonna ask you to describe it, but you can give me a number between
Oh,
1
no.
and 10.
I mean, like, you know what? Just for fun, and also by all accounts, for just a little bit of cartooniness to this very graphic violence, Remy is going to literally minor illusion a bush over the body, and then Remy just steps into the minor illusion.
And then you just hear screaming. You hear the song from Reservoir Dogs, and then you like he puts on a suit and like.
Audience is still sulking, so he's gonna shout out, "Remember to put another knife in his hand, Remy, so other members of our party feel better."
Remy, like from outside of the bush, puts a single talon up as his signature thumbs up, and then he takes one of the many daggers on his person, puts it into the guy's hand, and then proceeds to.
Then, as we hear this gentle, misty rain falling, you hear the guttural cries of a priest being gutted.
The best thing to meditate to.
Yeah. You all look down for a moment and you see this pool of blood slowly expanding, turning the ground red. This
It looks like it's slip and slide time.
Well, it's already slip and slide. Well, there's a bit of mud also because of the holes all over the yard.
Okay.
The good news is the hole has already been made if you want to bury him after. So,
Yeah, no, don't bury
Alright.
him. Burn him.
As we do that, I'm like, all right, guys, let's gather our things and get, like, as he said, we don't have a lot of time. We need to.
God, why?
We need to move as quick as possible. We need to basically head out as soon as we're done with this.
so
I
Alright.
need that inside me.
oh god, I can see my spleen! Why?
But my insides feel like rainbows. They're coming out.
So, so right now it's probably 2 in the morning. Are you planning to go out in the middle of the night, or are you waiting for the first break of light?
I don't think we can wait. I think he said we gotta. I think we gotta go.
Yeah,
We also know that the priests already attacked with all their shadow wolves, so they probably won't be able to make more, at least tonight. So I'd say we start going.
Alright.
Alright.
So,
Before we leave,
yeah.
I would like to remember a spot on the ground, and I think I shouldn't take these with me just in case they break. So I'm gonna bury the wine bottles into the ground, and then yeah, just for when we get back, for when we need to have a party, and yeah, when we need to celebrate, and then I'll be ready to go. I start following them.
Alright.
All right.
So,
Yeah, I'm ready.
what exactly do you gather before leaving? Or you just take your stuff and go?
I'm gonna grab the clothes of the cultist that was here, so I can dress up like him.
Okay.
It's on a disguise.
Any other
Yeah.
preparation? Words of
What
advice?
else should we do?
Mm,
Ceremonial dance?
Should we
I don't know.
eat? Should we eat before we go?
I think we can eat on the road. We got rations for a reason.
That is true. All right. Yeah. No. Everything's ready. I think we just grab all our shit and leave.
Okay.
Yeah. I guess I'll grab the an acorn from Taronde so we can resummon our friend later.
oh. But will that send him back?
No, it shouldn't. It's him just giving us. I don't think so. Since he was the one who originally gave it, I assume not, since he's more powerful.
I'm also looking into that glider, parachute, silk thingy. As we're leaving,
Yeah.
or before we leave.
You'd have to learn first how to make one. So it's most likely something that you'll be able to learn once you get back to the garden. Because you still have a place in the garden.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
All right.
or if you're lucky, you could try and find a very good tailor. I mean, there's a lot of survivors from the large city, but that would be how this would be done
Yeah.
proficiently.
We don't got time for that.
No.
I'll just go.
All right. So, you all gather your stuff. Place whatever you need inside of your backpack. Maybe you want to store something in the. Since you don't have a cart, you could always store things in your dimensional space if you want.
How long can someone hold their breath? No.
I tried to look this up. I forgot how long it was. But a 10 by 10 room for a single person, it's not going to be that long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need an oxygen tank.
All right. So, you gather your stuff. You prepare yourself. Turon gives you back the acorn, of course, when you ask it. He does say, however, just try to remember the acorn can only summon one person at a time.
Oh.
I can leave if you try to summon Onak again. But I'm not sure where you would find a place to summon him in the mountains.
No.
Bring a
I
pot of dirt.
assume we won't be able to summon him. I'm just keeping it with us for the future. I want you here guarding the monastery, making sure the people are safe until we have dealt with this issue. At least, hopefully, in case the priests come back.
Very well.
You know what? Finally, now that I'm thinking about it, and someone can probably give a more clear, concise answer on the mechanics on this now. Raimi is going to, in his talon hands, hold up the acorn, and he's going to minor illusion a 5 foot by 5 foot pot of dirt with a question mark above it.
So are you asking a party member or are you asking Tourane?
Tirone.
I must admit, I have never tried. I am fairly confident that it would work for some time. But soil needs to be alive in order to be soil. And so, if soil can't stay alive, it will eventually be of no use.
Rainy gives a taloned thumbs up. It's just like finally. Because like Raimi didn't know that there was some other being with a lot more information on how this works.
And of course, Jorg, as a druid, you'd be the one who is the most... Oh, yeah, of course. Soil is alive because of different nutrients inside it. And of course, it stays alive. You wouldn't know these terms specifically, but you'd know the effect of it. Bacteria in the soil need to be kept alive. In the vacuum space, it's gonna stay alive for some time, much longer than a person, but eventually it will die also. So, because of your druid, you know that this is what Turane is referring to.
Makes sense. And then also, I would have known that soil dries out over time, and you can't plant crops in dead soil.
It's not just a matter of being wet. The soil needs to have some level of fertility, and usually you do that by adding poo to the soil. That's the most natural way of fertilizing soil. But
would the rain keep it alive as long as the rain is going?
It's going to keep it wet, and so long as there are bacteria in the soil, water is enough to keep them alive, if with a very minimum of nutrient. If you dry earth, bacteria can survive for a very long time inside of a soil. In a for making this explanation simple, in a sort of stasis. They can live sometime for decades like this, but they'll need water at one point. So long as they haven't been destroyed or completely depleted, it will become soil again. But as we all know, there are some barren soils, deserts, and sometimes the transition between a desert. There's nothing you can do with that soil. And of course, if it's sand, there's really nothing you can do about it.
I think I have a plan, but for later.
Okay. But it's going to take some time. You know, a human might die inside of an hour inside of that space. Soil will die maybe after several weeks inside of there. So
yeah. We just have you turn into an animal, take a poop whenever we need to plant it, okay, and then...
Oh, I'm sure Ovenak's gonna love this.
Yeah.
So you grew me in shit.
Yep.
Okay.
More specifically.
So now we have plans for a compost bin inside of there. That's gonna smell so nice.
Yeah, when I have to go, I'll turn into a cow, take a big dump, and then we'll shovel that into audience's thing.
Yeah. All right, we found the plan. Let's go.
Let's go. We have a gross, disgusting plan, but we have a plan. And I've seen what cow poo looks like. Oh, from very close. Not that close, but very close.
Are we leaving?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's go.
On that very appetizing plan, yes. We are. So, it takes a little bit of time, but everything is gathered. You all make your plan. You all come up with this poo plan, and suddenly you all take your things. It's maybe 2:30 in the middle of the night, and you prepare to start moving off. All right. So, one of the first things you notice as you try to leave the monastery is that Tourane has already sealed up all of the breaches, but they've been sealed with his magic, not the warding spell that the monastery had. So it's a level of defense, but it's not the ultimate defense. But very carefully, you see some of the priests, very nervous, going to the front gate and just slightly opening the gates first, looking outside, being very nervous, looking at all of you. Are you sure you want to do this at night? You remember how they snagged your friend?
Me?
I do, but it sounds like we don't really have an option. We
And
gotta.
if they do snag us, we'll just be in their area. So
Well, it's your plan. I'm just saying this because I sort of enjoyed seeing you again. So, but hey, if it's what you want to do, go ahead. And you see that
Well,
he's
maybe-
very scared of opening these gates. He does it very nervously. Keeps looking back as if he was expecting something to just. Good lord! I keep hitting my microphone. He was expecting something to just jump out at him. Okay, well, go ahead.
Maybe we should not leave at night.
No, we should. We need to.
I look back and I'm like, don't worry, we'll be back.
You get the priest saying, I'm gonna hold you to that. If you're not... Never mind, I was gonna say something funny, but it doesn't work in this sense. So go ahead, go, get out.
I'm holding.
Right.
I'm holding him to that too.
Just pray
Maybe
for us.
maybe just holds up his lantern for the light that obviously they need.
You just
Yeah.
step out and start.
What is going to be our marching order, guys?
I'm gonna be on my cat.
In the front, in the back, where are you going to be?
Oh, we don't have any. We've got one tank now.
I'm a semi-tank also.
Okay.
I'm not a true tank.
Let's go back to the garden and pick up that armor for me, and then we'll come back. How's that sound?
And then we'll come back. Yeah,
It
yeah.
sounds like a long.
We should have
sounds like
enough
we
time.
might be too late.
We can teleport,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Not during the night.
No.
No.
And I think even if we did during the day, we couldn't teleport back.
Yeah.
Well, let's just say that you'd miss the end of this chapter if you did that.
You know what? I think it's
Well-
starting to sound better that we start defending from the garden.
Just like let's just fall back and wait
Let's
for
just
the end.
fall back. Yeah, yeah. Let's just see what happens.
We'll just trade. Let's just go back and trade to like level 20. Just wait for the end.
Man, that's gonna be a boring show to watch. They just train. So what are we going
Every
doing
dummy
today?
has 1 XP. We'll get there eventually.
We just train today. Do you want to go fight a monster? No, we train.
No. We still fight monsters, but we just simply like do the level 1 fight the rats in the sewer quest over and over again,
Yeah.
Yeah.
grinding experience on that.
And then we just turn it into a montage.
Yeah, we gotta get those blood points in. We could upgrade ourselves.
Yeah. And you all laugh, but I know someone who actually did that. So, let's Alright, so you all slip out, and that was a valid question. So, in what order are you moving in the middle of the night? Audience is
I
on
guess
his
I'll be in the
cat.
back.
In the back, okay. Audience on his cat, so taller than everyone else. Where exactly?
Remy in the middle since he has the light.
Front.
front.
Yeah, Jorg's gonna.
We don't
Probably.
want the light. It's night. We don't need the light. Yeah, the light's not helpful.
Actually,
We
I
want
disagree.
stealth, don't we?
actually, yeah. If we put the light out, I'll cast
We want stealth. Are you going to take off
pass
your armor?
without a trace on all of us. On
I don't need to
myself,
take
and
off
then
my
we'll
armor.
get-
My armor doesn't affect
Yeah.
my stealth.
Guys,
Okay.
we'll do this. I'm gonna cast pass without a trace. Pass without trace. All right. We'll get much better stealth.
I think you got hit with one of those mushrooms by accident.
Yeah. I was standing pretty close to that. Yeah.
I'm just picturing all of you discussing this in front of the monastery with the door
Just
still
like
slightly
right outside
ajar,
the door,
and the
guys
guy
standing
behind.
there like,
We're never
"Are
gonna
you
see
sure
them
you're
again.
coming back?"
We're never gonna see them
Uh-oh.
again.
All right. I'm gonna cast it so we'll have better stealth. But I feel like the stealth is pointless because they know where we are. They don't need to see us. They have wall hacks.
What?
They don't necessarily. I mean, yes, but they also left.
Yes. Yeah, but to some extent, we don't know how gone they are. It's still night.
We're gonna.
Well, we're not going to figure out if we keep standing here. We should
Yeah.
get off.
All
we
right,
just need
all
to-
right.
We just
I'm
we'll run into
casting
them
it.
or we won't.
And I'm the dungeon master. Of course, I'm gonna push you in the opposite direction that you're leaning, just to see how much of a
Yeah.
resolve you have. Doesn't mean that
Let's
I'm
go.
telling you which is the right choice. It just means that I like the fact that you're all hesitating on this. All right, so the door
ready to
closes,
go.
and audience in the front, Tobiashi in the back, so Remy and Jorg in the middle.
Yeah.
A passive perception means shit in the dark, but okay, let's go.
And what about the light? So Remy has some residual light inside.
Did
of
we
his
tell him to put it
lantern.
out, or did we tell him to? Is he keeping
I'm
it
not.
on?
I'm not using light.
Me neither.
I cast pass without trace, so we should probably not use it. So that we're our stealth is better.
So Remy, are you using
Gonna
your
listen to
light
us.
or not?
What if Remy shroud it so you can uncover it in a pinch?
Oh, he can close the shutter. There's
Instant.
no problem.
Oh yeah. Cool. Never mind then.
I just want to know if the shutter is open or not, because this can affect if you're seen or not. So I need to know. Remy?
Oh, Remy had to go change the. Oh, never mind. Remy's still there.
Yeah. I don't think.
I was just
Okay.
I was just double checking the wording of
Oh, okay.
pass without trace.
Oh,
Because part of me is thinking that we can 100% use the light inside of it and evade detection.
Well, yeah, it just gives a bonus to stealth.
a veil of
But you could see it.
shadows and silence radiates from you.
Oh,
Does it disable lights? Because like
No,
if
it
it's cast-
masks you and your companion from detection. For the duration, each creature you choose within 30 feet of you, including you, has a +10 bonus to dexterity stealth check and can't be tracked except by magical means. A creature that receives this bonus leaves behind no track or other traces of its passage. So technically, those you decide gain this bonus, and since you are shrouded from the outside, but it doesn't say that you're shrouded from each other, it stands to reason that those you decide are affected by this are also not affected by the stealth of someone else. So it's more or less a real bubble that follows you.
Okay.
Yeah, because simply put, guys, wandering around in darkness is
Clumsy work.
Pretty tragic.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Let's go.
Okay. So we see this
direction
group
we're going.
leaving the monastery. You suddenly see a light, and then no light, and then you keep on going. So,
Alright, roll.
Pass Without a Trace lasts 1 hour with concentration, and it's 1 hour to get to the excavated city. So you can easily place this so that it's going to last for as long as you're outside. But when you're gonna reach the inside, it's gonna fade out unless you can recast it. So I'm gonna have everyone roll a stealth roll, and then we're gonna go on a break.
A +7 plus a +10. Oh my gosh.
Does that add to our already plus, or is it just plus 10?
It's +10 to dexterity stealth check.
Yeah, so it adds to what you've already got.
So if
It's
I
an
already have
addition.
plus 3...
Then it
Yep.
becomes +13. 13, sorry.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
I actually have... I'm on my
So I
cat.
just rolled a 27.
I'm on my cat, so I have actually plus 5, so I have plus 15. With advantage, because we're back.
I got a 31.
Okay.
Damn.
19... Actually, that's pretty close. I got a 34.
Okay. Remy? If
37.
I was gonna say if you have under 25, I'm going to be very disappointed. Jorg?
27.
27. Alright.
Wow, not over 30? Damn.
Dang.
No.
We're gonna get caught now.
You're dragging the group down.
By 30, our 30. We're literally invisible. We're like,
No, yeah. According to Dungeons and Dragons, anything beyond 30 is considered impossible. So there's a few moments where you see George stumbling on a rock, but you're so stealthy. You're fairly sure that no one heard that. It was just a small pebble, and you know that the sound was muffled because of the spell, and you know. So you walk and walk for an hour. And so, this hour is going to pass in 15 minutes. Because we're going to be back right after the break.
Okay.
Give you all a little bit of time to go grab something to eat, something to drink, go to the bathroom if you need to. And we're going to be back in 15 minutes when the group enters the mountain and start trying to figure its way out. Or in, rather. So, see you all in 10 minutes. 15 minutes, sorry. Bye. Aha, welcome back. And yes, everyone is there. Ha ha ha. That's always good. Alright. So, now, sorry, I've been having so much trouble with my digestion in the last 2 days. I make joke and I don't look that sick, but I'm inside. I am dying, just like Tobiyashi. This is why it's always a character that's on him right now.
Again, Pepto-Bismol, if you're looking for that sponsorship, ample
We could use it.
opportunities. This could have been your ad space.
Yeah, I wouldn't have minded doing this, and I'm sure that Remy would have been very good at reproducing your jingle.
Maybe Tums too.
Oh, we'd probably have to choose, but, you know, if one doesn't want, the other can. Alright. So, as you all walk in the middle of the night, with Remy's lantern, and him watching the shadows very nervously, but also aware that you are all covered by this veil of shadow conjured by Jorg's spellcasting. You make your way across the plateau and then start going down the road. You make your way across the open, rocky field that leads toward the city, and slightly curve to the right from your perspective to go closer to the side of the mountain where the unexcavated part of the city is. And as you're arriving close to the edge, Jorg, you know that your spell is about to fade away. You're close enough, you'd probably be able to get inside the city and find your way inside one of the entrances, but you wouldn't be able to choose which entrance into the unexcavated part of the city you're going. But you might also find one 10 minutes after the spell fades, which would feel a bit like a waste of spell for 10 minutes. So, what are you all doing?
I think it's worth recasting that, just so that once we're in the city, it'll still be handy to have.
Okay.
I'm eating my rations.
As you see Jorg thinking about this, and then you turn around and you see Tobiashi nibbling on a dried apricot.
Any thoughts? We'll get into the city with what's left of this spell, but we might find another way in.
I have no idea. I was going to rub some mud on me, but maybe if Pastor Out of Trace works, I won't have to.
He says with a handful of mud and the other hand with an apricot in it.
And Raimi is just staring at that.
Audience, what do you think? Pass without a trace again, or?
I think better safe than sorry.
Yeah.
I think we should use it.
All right, I also rubbed the mud on myself. And I'm just rubbing it to cover my whole body.
Then you realize that you're rubbing the apricot on yourself and you're eating the
And I'm
mud.
like, oh man, there goes the apricot.
Raimi's head just slowly turns to audience as the party is witnessing this scene. As if looking for a certain level of guidance and or insight and or understanding and or context.
Guidance.
Audience.
I'm just gonna look at Remy and just kind of shake his head, like I don't know.
Been a
Read this
while
in a
since
book
you
once.
saw him. He changed.
The man was tortured for a while. I don't know how sane he is.
Just a little bit.
Just slowly turns his head back to face Tobiashi.
I think Tobiashi's actually got a pretty good idea there.
Oh god,
Come
it's
on.
spreading.
The insanity. I read this in a book once. It was called like Rainbow or something like that. You know, he was getting hunted.
So, Jorg, you're casting this spell. Of course you can smear mud on yourself. There's not a lot of it, but hey, it's a city. Of course there's...
Oh, that's not the mud I want to smear myself. Jorg's gonna pass. City mud's not the kind of mud he likes.
He doesn't like that city mud.
No.
Oh, look,
You know what
there's
they
a
put in
clay pit. Alright, so you recast the spell and you all enter the city. Once again hidden by the spell and Tobiyashi shoving mud down his pants. So, as you all make your way inside the city.
At the very least, we don't have to cringe every time we hear him chewing.
Yeah. It's true. I stopped eating because of that.
Yeah, but now there's brown stuff coming out of his pants. And you're hoping it's the right thing. So you're walking in the middle of the city, and there is this eerie silence. I said that there is this eerie silence. As you're walking in the city, it feels like everything is watching you for some reason. You see empty buildings, you see open windows, busted doors, overturned cart. You hear a cat run off in the distance. At one point you think you heard bats, but it was very faint.
You gotta catch that cat.
Because the cat's gonna get eaten by the bat.
Yeah.
But then the bat is gonna choke on the cat. So I don't know why I had that rolling around in my mind. So you just keep on going to the city, and because you're still on your stealth roll, you haven't done anything really to break this. Well, with the exception of Jorg, because you started casting again. I'd say only Jorg needs to remake his stealth roll, because everyone else, you just kept on going with this.
Ooh, not as good with a 19.
Okay.
That's even plus 10? Okay.
Yeah.
So now this time you notice that Jorg is very distracted as he's walking. He keeps stumbling on small rocks, and for some reason you have Remy looking at his lantern and looking at the rocks, and why can't
Jorg,
you
are
see
you wearing
this?
the priest's clothes right now? Or not?
He would be.
I change into those.
In the middle of the party, he removes his robe and then put on the robes of the other one.
I'm right behind you. Come on, man.
Give us warning, come on.
Just saw Jorg, guys.
Everyone's
Remy is not impressed by what he sees.
Wait, is it Harry? Oh.
He looks at Jorg and he looks at the audience and... So... And... Apparently nothing seems to draw your attention in the city, and you don't seem to attract attention from anything in the city. But you are a witness to all of these annoying, disturbing sounds that are inside of a city in the middle of the night when there's no light and no life around. So, now you have the time to pick an entrance. It only takes you maybe 10 minutes to reach this point where you can see the streets of the city going right into the mountains. And you know that every place where the street joins the foot of the mountain, there's going to be some sort of excavation that will have been started to keep on excavating the city. But you also know from your time inside the city that at least for a good while, a good hour of walk inside of there, you're not walking in large open city. You're walking in corridors. Granted, they're 15 feet high corridors, but still just corridors. You know that the hunter cult uses them to leave the mountain and hunt, and they use them. Well, you've never seen them use them, but you expect that they probably go back through these tunnels. So, what tunnels are you looking for?
I guess the tunnels that lead to the darkest part of the mountain.
Yeah.
How would you deduce that from what you're seeing?
I could detect evil, I guess. Which tunnels feel the evilest? The most dark?
These brick feels evil.
I don't know. We could try that. I'll do it.
Mm,
Okay.
you could.
I believe it's 60 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. So you take
So
a moment. You open your
promise.
divine sense, giving you a flash of everything that's around. Right now, you're not detecting anything evil moving about, or undead, or fiendish. You get the feeling that either everyone is still out hunting, or they've finished with their hunting for the night. Maybe because of the fight.
You know what? Rami is going to see if he can notice any what might be considered like recent disturbances, since really the only people that are going to be moving through these tunnels are probably the ones who have the way of the place,
Okay.
and especially since there's a lot of preparations, or presumably a lot of preparations happening, there's probably more activity in the relevant areas.
Okay, so basically you're trying to see if you can track the activity of those who came by. Okay, I'd say investigation, because you're really getting down and trying to figure out things that have been disturbed and stuff like this. And if you manage to pick up the something, it's going to become survival for tracking.
Okie dokie. All right, that is going to be a 17.
17. Okay. Okay. It takes a little bit of time. Maybe 10 minutes of going in front of New Street, going in, and older ones also going in. But it feels like the wider the street, the more it was used. So you eventually find yourself in front of the main street, the largest one that is 15 feet wide and 15 feet tall. And you look at this, and well, there are some signs of carts being hauled in fairly recently. You can see the tracks in the mud. And you also see a few discarded objects. Most likely things that peasant might have had on them. So probably something very direct. Either people have been trying to throw stuff out to be found by someone else, or whomever has been pushing these people through that path have been stripping them this early on.
Yeah, as Raimi is like coming to notice this pattern and just makes an effort to point it out.
So you find yourself in front of Remy the Mime, trying to draw your attention to the discarded piles of objects, to the tracks on the ground, and to other small details which would indicate that there's people getting through this part are not being hauled to be prepared. They've already been prepared. I am very doubtful that 3 players would all roll natural 1 to figure that out. Although it happened to me once in 25 years of gameplay, I doubt very much that it would happen again.
It's like, well, then that's like what, a 1 in 8,000 chance that all 3 of you roll a natural 1?
I think this means Remy wants you to roll your dice to see if you get a natural 1. 3 times.
I rolled a 15.
So,
Jorg
no
rolled.
worries for audience.
Jorg rolled a 17.
And don't tell me Tobiyashi rolled a 1. Tobiyashi, you're either muted or gone.
Oh, like I said, Toby was thinking about what he could do with his silks at the moment. He kind of dozed off. So, what are we rolling for?
To see if you understand what Remy is pointing to.
Oh, just a regular roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh. Yeah, I got a 9.
Alright. The goal was just not to roll natural 1s.
Okay.
Because it's sort of obvious. He's pointing toward a variety of stuff. So you're fairly sure that this large street goes in the right direction. You just don't know how far you're going to have to travel to get there.
Mm-hmm. So you guys trying to double time it? We running?
We can. We have our stealth up.
Yeah.
This would be the good time to maybe make up some time before the spell ends.
All right.
Yeah. Start stealth running.
Start stealth running.
Yeah.
Start running on the buildings.
I believe the colloquial term is Naruto running.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yes.
With my silks, I make like a ninja head thing, and then I just start running with my arms behind my head.
Just to add effect, you grow a second pair of arms with your silk.
Yeah. With my silk, yeah.
All right, so
Like creating more drag force?
no, it's making more sound. It's making it less stealthy, so you can hear the. Okay, so
I'll be the distraction. Don't worry.
you start making your way in. I'd say you're trying to move. Hold on, I believe it's at disadvantage when you're trying to do this. Which page is it? Traveling. Okay, so
Ooh. Heartburn.
Okay. So I guess this means it's a passive stealth, because technically if you're running, you can't stealth.
Okay, then we should not be running.
I mean, passive stealth wouldn't be bad for the party.
Yeah, plus 10, right? Our passive stealth plus 10.
Technically, yeah.
What I'm getting at here is that that Raimi, no matter what, is not being seen for the next 40 minutes.
Everyone else, but Remy, no. Okay, so how am I gonna do this?
How do you figure out passive stealth?
Every single skill has a passive stat, which is basically 10 plus your
Modifier, okay.
modifiers.
It's just that the three most commonly used ones are perception, investigation, and insight.
Yeah.
Okay.
But usually you use a passive trait when something is done repeatedly. Like if you were to decide to help a village to cut down part of a forest, I wouldn't make you do athletics roll all day long. I'd use your passive athletics to see how well you're doing. You could make a roll to see if you go a bit beyond that, but it would be your passive athletic for the whole thing. Alright, so basically what you're doing is that you're crouching, jogging. So that's basically... Okay, let's do it like this. You're still going to be moving at your normal speed, but because of the spell, I'm going to go with...
I'm on my cat, by the way, if that makes a difference. Me.
Well, your cat is just slightly more stealthy than you.
Well, I know, but I'm just saying my cat is the one running, not me.
Okay. So you're just making haste. Alright, I'm gonna have you all roll your stealth at disadvantage, but I'm gonna allow you to put the plus 10 on the result.
Okay.
Jorg rolled a 13.
You're just getting better at this every single time.
Yeah, that was a nat 1. He didn't even bother rolling a second time.
I rolled a 20.
Okay.
A nat 20?
No. Dirty 20.
Audience
Filthy.
and Remy?
I rolled a 26.
Jeez.
A disgusting 20.
I mean, this is probably one of the lower stealth rolls, but with a plus 10, though, that still puts me at a 26.
And how much did you roll, you said, Jorg?
13.
13, alright.
Jorg rolled a nat 1, got plus 2, plus 10.
And I'm behind him.
So you see him stumbling on pieces of...
Pretty much like yelling and kicking things, and then it's dampened by his...
Well, yeah, you're all walking in this main street and you're not seeing anything, then suddenly you hear ting, 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 and you hear Jard go, just. So, you keep on moving like this in almost complete darkness, and it takes a while. But I'd say whomever is in front can make a perception roll, and someone else can make a perception roll to see if you find yourself...
Can I make one in the back?
Well,
just to keep track of our back, like what's behind us. Make sure no one's coming up.
Only two person can make a roll for a direction. So basically, if you're watching a different direction, I'm going to take into consideration that, for example, audience is just looking at the front. And if you're at the back and you decide to do one for the back, well, you're just going to be centered on the back.
Audience rolled a 22, by the way.
Okay.
I'm sorry, audience cat rolled a 22.
I was going to say audience can't roll that high.
No, he can't. Audience's perception roll has become significantly better since he has a cat. All
I
right.
rolled a 19 to keep track of the back.
All
I'm
right.
just
Make sure
gonna
nothing's coming up on
leave
us.
that joke off to the side.
So, in front you have. Oh, too bad I don't have cave sounds. It would have been nice. 26 for the front and 19 for the back. So that's pretty good, actually. You manage to avoid being detected on 2 or 3 occasions. You're walking inside of this very large hallway, and then at one point you start hearing footstep coming your direction. Your passive roll allows you to just warn not your passive roll, your perception roll, sorry, allows you to figure this out and just warn everyone, and you just step into a smaller alley and you watch a group of cultists just walking down the street. You recognize one easily as being a priest, although there's no sign of whether he is a higher level priest or a lower one. But he is accompanied by 3 large person, which feels like probably the barbarian type, and 4 roguish type. But because of your perception roll, you manage to see them, so you can either get a surprise attack on them or just let them go by.
I see Jorg about to hit something with his toe again. I pull him close to me. I'm like, "Ugh."
That sounds like a fight we do not want to take.
Yeah.
To be honest, audience is all for a fight, but this early on to do that tough of a fight, no.
Okay.
We don't even know if their clothes are worth it at this point.
So, you keep on, you let them pass, you wait for a little moment, maybe 5 or 10 minutes at total, and you till you can't hear them anymore, and you keep on moving. After 35 minutes, Jorg, you know that your spell is about to fade.
Oh.
Oh.
The more you walk in this place, the more you get the feeling that this dwarven city was huge. The hall
Well, it did say
is barely starting to get wider.
they did say a couple days, or it would take like at least a day to reach the. So I'm not that surprised.
Do we camp out somewhere?
We're gonna have to eventually find a place. I don't know. Are we getting tired yet? Like, how close are we to getting tired? How long have we been traveling for?
You can't cast another one of the spells, so
It took you an hour to
only
get.
been-
It's well, you can count it like this. You've cast 2 Pass Without a Trace since you've left
So
the
2
monastery,
hours.
so it's 2 hours. That means it's probably somewhere between 4 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning, 5, and you know that you're gonna start feeling a little bit of exhaustion creeping in toward noon, because that will be near where you should be going to bed.
Well, we took a short rest, right?
Yeah.
So would that help at all?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you advantage on Constitution roll when the time comes. I'm just letting you know that when noon arrives, you're gonna be reaching 16 hours up.
Okay. I say we keep going for now, because we still got a lot, and we obviously need to be. It's obviously going to be dangerous, but we need to make better. We can't completely rely on pass without a trace. We can't travel 2 hours. We definitely don't have time for that. If we had like 2 weeks, we could travel like 2 hours every day. We don't have that time, so we're gonna have to travel without pass a trace. Might as well travel now when it's daytime.
Or I will say, how many? Have you burned a lot of your higher level spell slots? I sincerely don't know.
I I'm at a second level, but I've got 2 third.
As a reminder to, I guess, everybody, you can always cast a spell at a higher level, even if there is no additional benefit for doing so.
Yeah. So I could
So
I could get another 2 hours out of this.
Yeah, I mean, let's at least do it till 12.
Okay.
Oh,
I think we're planning on going for stealth as long as we can, so we shouldn't save spell slots for
yeah. It
for
is
fighting.
4 a.m. and 2 hours gets us till 6:30ish.
6.5.
So yeah,
Then we got the
we're not
rest then,
looking
right?
at. Yeah, at that point we could rest. Then yeah,
6.
and then not. If we
Well, I
make
think
it
we
smart.
should travel for as long as we can during the day. And then I think we should use as many spell slots as we can, at least get to 12, and then maybe even keep traveling through the day, and then once it becomes night again, and it becomes, maybe then that's when we try and take our rest. Or, I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, these cultists seem to be almost more proficient at night than during the day, so
All right, sounds
Yeah.
good.
we should at least try and make up as much travel time during the day as we can.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Okay. So, do you cast or do you
I'll-
not cast?
I will
or
cast
not to
another.
cast?
Bam! Cast it again. At an hour.
All right. Well, since you're the only one who breaks the stealth, I'd say you're the only one who has to roll again.
No,
Try not to
still,
get it
come on.
even worse.
I don't think you can.
You-
A
17.
negative one.
Yeah. I need real dice. I don't know where I put mine.
I mean, 17's
I
better
don't
than
like
13.
the electronic ones. Yeah.
His feet are starting to be sore a little bit from all of the rock that he stepped on, so now he's being more careful about what's on the ground. There's a few moments where you hear him walk and you just go, "Ay." But you don't hear something just being pushed away, so. Alright, so.
Yeah, because Jorg is being really bad at stealth right now. But his spell is making up for it.
Alright, well, apparently on this one, there is. You walk for another hour, and suddenly the city starts getting wider. It feels like you're entering something that was more heavily lived in. You're basically leaving the suburb of the Dwarven city. So,
Oh god, we probably snuck by the dog park at some point.
so you keep on walking, and you start seeing more details on the walls as you get into a part of the city that's been more lived in. There's more decoration, there's more room, the smaller alleys are getting wider. Suddenly you start seeing columns being carved out, and not just hallways made inside of a still dwarven hallways, but hallways dug inside the city. But after an hour, it feels like you're still a long way out. But your stealth has allowed you to not being seen again. And you even find yourself again in front of another patrol. This one, judgment call is a bit harder to make because you see 20 member of the cult. All roguish type, with one that looks like a priest in front. The way he's walking, it easily feels like he's someone of greater authority. But in the middle of those 20 roguish people, you see what looks like 10 civilians being taken further in the same direction that you are going.
Should we try and follow them?
You think Jord can sneak in there and act like one of them?
No, I don't think. I think we just. I mean, they obviously haven't noticed us. Our stealth's really high. I mean, we still have another hour left because he said we've been traveling for an hour, and we still got another hour because he gets at level 3. We could at least follow them for an hour and get some sense of maybe where they're going.
Do I get an extra hour of that?
There is no additional benefit to upcasting Pass Without Trace.
Oh, well.
You got anything divine we could put on them so you could sense them when they do leave our area?
Divine
I mean,
sneeze.
I could divine sense, but it's instant. If we're following them, I mean, they'll tell me that there's probably evil right in front of me, but we know that.
Well, yeah, let's keep following them.
Do you want to use your last spell slot, Jorg?
Sure.
It's always fun entering a fight with only level 1 spells. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
I mean, we don't. I'd say I don't think we fight. I think that. I mean, we're gonna try and rescue the civilians later anyway. I think taking this fight isn't like.
No.
It's the solution to every war.
It's just-
Yeah, we're gonna save them. It's called winning the war.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know.
Let's not think too hard about previous decisions in previous wars. Let's not think too hard on that.
In previous wars.
No, and in the Shattered Continent.
And or current wars.
And in the Shattered Continent, there's only been 2 really large wars that encompassed many island chains. So. Alright, so you cast again. Wow.
And
I have exactly the same roll, just not in the same order. Okay.
another 17.
Let's go, Jorg.
Let's go.
It's Groundhog Day, but 1 hour at a time.
Yeah.
So you decide to start following these people for a while. And even though Jorg is the stealth-less of the group, you get the feeling that he's stealthy enough. A few moments, there is this noise that he makes, and then suddenly you all wait for a moment, and you notice one person inside of this large party just looking to the side, going back to walking forward. And roughly half an hour in, something happens that you sort of get the, oh no, that's not... You see them all enter a building. And the building is rather small. And then you hear one go, "Come on, move! Go down the stairs." And you see all of those people entering and going down a long flight of stairs that goes... I forgot what the word is. In a spiral.
Spiral?
Yeah. That goes spiraling down. If you want to keep following them, you're going to have to go in the building and follow them in that stair. You don't know how far it goes.
And we have a half hour left.
About half an hour, yes.
Should we have only one of us follow them? Like the sneaky of us?
We should not split the party. I don't think we should split the party.
You could send your cat.
I could send my cat.
He's not part of the party. I mean, no.
You know what? I say we try and find a place to rest around here, because I assume that's where we're going to have to go eventually, is down that staircase. Or at least I'll get some information about that, and I'll have my cat follow them while we try and figure out a place to rest nearby. That's...
Okay.
Get our rest in so we can get Jorg's spells back.
Okay, it's about 6 in the morning. You'd still have another 6 hours before you start really feeling the fatigue and have to make rolls.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna have to long rest eventually, and we might as well do it now.
Then we're not doing any traveling during the day because we're just gonna sleep through it.
Well, that's not true. We're gonna. It's 6 now. It's 8 hours. It's
So how do we know this is the place where we have to go? What if this is just like a pit stop for them too?
We don't. That's why we're gonna send my cat down while we take our rest to see how long the staircase goes. I'd say that's more why we should stop now, because that allows my cat a chance to actually see if this is where we have to go or if this is just like a...
Or if we could keep on moving.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll find one of these buildings to take refuge in until your cat comes back and says, "What's up?"
Yep.
Okay.
And hope that nobody walks in on us.
All right. Well, in that case, that would probably be investigation roll to start
Looking for a place.
looking for a building for you to spend the night. And for audience, I would also have you make a stealth roll for your cat.
Okay, investigation. Let's go. I rolled a 16.
My cat wouldn't just keep his stealth roll. Or at least for the next 30 minutes. Or would he?
Well, it's like, in this case, like, you might be able to keep the stealth roll, but you'd
You're
lose
also-
with plus 10.
Yeah, you'd be moving out.
So should I
fine.
tell you the roll with the plus 10 or without the plus 10?
I thought they cast it on the creature. Does it
No,
have
it's
to be
aura
the-
around.
30 feet around. Jorg would have to go with the cat.
Okay, I'll do it without the plus 10.
Okay.
Okay.
That is not great.
Mm.
That
That's what I like.
is a 10.
Might have wanted to run. I know
Cat's
it's
gonna
splitting the
die.
party, but he might have been able to hide better.
All right. So,
Yeah, that was a 4 and a 1. He got even advantage on that. Plus fine.
that's well, at least it's better than 1. All right. So you for investigation for finding a place to sleep.
I rolled a 16, and I'd probably make sure that we were in there before he sent his cat down.
I rolled a 3.
So audience, you're a bit scared for your cat because he starts moving off by stepping on probably a little mouse. Then you hear it go, "Wee!" and it starts moving away and hitting some stuff that falls on the ground. And, great start.
Luckily, my cat... They might just think it's a mountain lion, like, hunting. So,
Deep in the mountain, yeah, because you always see them hunting deep in the mountain.
you know what? I don't know if they know if I have a cat yet, so... They might not put it back to me if they do see. They'll just be like,
Alright.
it's a cat.
All right. So your battle cat, as soon as he gets the word, starts going off and following them. While you're doing this, you're all found a place that feels a little bit out of the way, but still has some visual range on this staircase. So you still have a little bit of awareness of what's going on, but also not too close that if one of you starts snoring, they'll be able to trail you.
And I guess we should take turns taking watch and then fall asleep since we don't have our friend anymore who could sentry rest
Damn!
for us.
That was so useful.
It actually was, though.
Yeah. Well, now you know who to blame. So next time you see him, you'll be able to tell him.
I mean, for what it's worth, you know, per the rest, Raimi will, and since they are in dangerous territory, he is going to put up the bubble in their rest area.
Yeah,
That's smart.
I assume.
I feel like I need to explicitly say it just
No,
because.
good. I agree with that. So, just as Remy is starting to cast this, audience, you feel your cat moving off, and I believe you can feel it up to a mile. Is that it?
Up to a mile, which I assume would happen also like 30 minutes. Yeah. I assume a mile is far enough to hopefully at least go to the end of the staircase. I hope the staircase isn't longer than a mile.
Yeah, well, usually a person can travel, I believe it's 3 miles an hour. So he'd be able to walk for at least half an hour, if not the full hour.
Yeah, a mile would be a ridiculously long staircase.
It still is a surprisingly long staircase. Not a mile long staircase. But you get the feeling that they're going down and down and down. And at one point you even get this impression of your cat saying, "Are we gonna get there anytime before the end of the year?" It feels like they've been going down for several hundred feet before they reach a place where you hear one of them just go, "Come on, this way." And then your cat just witnessed one of them shoving one of the peasants. "Come on, move! I'm sorry. And push them further. There is a brief moment where in the staircase, just as they're all leaving, your cat step on something and then you hear it fall in the last few remaining steps. Small pebble, you see someone arriving, looking at this, looking up. But they rolled a 9, so they don't see your cat. That's why I smiled when I rolled them. I almost said, "You lucky son of..."
Go.
That was my cat's advantage in mountains, by the way, guys. Coming in clutch. Advantage on stealth rolls in a mountain.
So, alright, your cat waits for 1 minute, and then he sees everyone moving away, and he starts following them. And he follows them for the remainder of the half hour that you were planning, but he can keep on going for longer. It's just that you're gonna lose your connection to it, I believe.
Alright, I'm gonna give my cats the instruction to keep following them for as long as I can. If he gets seen, to basically not try and fight, just, I assume he's faster, take off and run. And then when he gets back in range of me, basically report once they either have stopped, put the villager somewhere, or if he sees like a landmark that he thinks would like, this is the correct way to go towards the temple.
Okay. Okay. Easy enough.
And then I'll go to sleep and wait for a report if it happens.
I guess I'll take first watch.
Yeah. So while this is going on, Remy has enough time to cast the bubble inside of this place, cover the windows because there's a little bit of flash of energy as it comes out, and everyone inside the bubble just being there, a bit nervous. Everyone goes to sleep, and so and the order is going to be Tobiyashi, then, because you can cover 8
Taking
hours
after me.
as long as you all take a shift. So
Yeah. I'll do the third one.
Okay.
Jorg will do second,
Okay, then
unless
that means Remy goes last.
Remy, do you want the second shift?
The dang Raimi we just like started fluffing this pillow from out of nowhere.
It's your jacket. You just
Ow.
folded it in a square shape and. All right. So
I don't know how weird would it be if like Kenku just like collected a certain number of the feathers that have fallen off of their body in order to make pillows.
Well, you need a place to put those feathers away. But for you, it just means asking audience more often than the rest access to his space. So it's not a bad thing, also for you personally. So Tobiyashi, Jorg, audience, and Remy. Is that it?
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good to me.
So, Tobiyashi, perception roll.
Okay.
You see a clown on the wing.
I rolled a 13.
All right. During your turn to watch, the eerie silence doesn't leave. You feel the time passing by. Your turn lasts 2 hours, and if you want to get your long rest, you need to spend it doing as little stuff as possible. So it's a long wait. All you have is a distant dripping of water, and you don't know where exactly, but probably a pool of some sort, because you hear the dook, dook, and it sounds as if the echo comes from the impact on water, but you don't know how far it is exactly. You do hear people walking at one point, but they don't come closer to this place. You just look out and you see a group of 5 cultists, most likely 1 priest. The rest feels like barbarians type. One of them even feels a bit similar to Ranzel in the sense that it has a chained sword on him. But none of them comes toward you, and they also go down the stairs. That's
Everyone's asleep, right?
right now. Everyone is asleep. You're the only one up. Yeah.
Okay. I would kind of think back for a second,
Okay.
and I'd kind of think about the scroll that I'm holding on to. And still trying to figure out the perfect when and where to use it, if I ever need to use it. I'd think about that, and then I would think about the ball thing, and think like, hopefully, maybe, if it was willing to, after we get this completed and we go home to celebrate or whatever we do, maybe he could come out for a little while and not be inside the ball forever.
Okay.
And I'd kind of talk to him a little bit about it, but that'd be it. And then I'd just keep watching until it's time for me to go to bed.
Okay. I'd say when you start talking to it about rest and being able to go outside the ball, you have a response of 2 different type of anxiety. Initially, you get a nervous anxiety at the prospect of coming out of the ball. But when you talk about being in a safe space once outside and only taking him outside of this ball when you're sure it's safe. And from what you've heard from Jorg, Audience, and Remy, the garden is supposed to be a very safe space. You get a feeling of positive anticipation toward this idea of, okay, going out of the ball in a place where nothing can happen. That sounds nice.
Okay.
All right. But that's all that happens during the night. Nothing else happens, really. You just get to see those people walking. And as you're getting up, it's as you're preparing to go to sleep, and you wake up Jorg. You get the feeling that it's most likely somewhere in the cusp of 8 in the morning, 8:30 in the morning. So, Jorg, this is the beginning of your shift, and you sort of have a odd feeling of, oh damn, why am I going to be the one taking in the morning shift? This is when they're supposed to get back, you know.
Before I go to sleep, I want to, I'll just tell him, I'll be like, keep him company. And I hand him my weapon, and, yeah, that's it.
You get handed a ball with a chain, and there's something vibrating inside.
I don't know if he sleeps, so, I mean, he's probably always awake, unless he's not. But,
Bold assumption it's a he.
yeah, I mean, I don't know what it is. I just assume it's my assumption. I'm sorry.
You get no response. Either he doesn't care or he doesn't mean something to him.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I will do my best.
All right, I go to bed.
All right.
Roll out my mattress or whatever it is.
Sleep tight.
All right.
All right.
Can I?
Yeah.
I wanna ask the ball. I wanna say, hey, is there someone in there, or is there? Are you alive?
You feel a vibration in the ball, and the vibration seems to be moving inside.
I'm gonna put the ball down and play with my puppy.
Well, the moment you put the ball down, you get your puppy tries to go play with the ball.
Oh, well then, ooh, that gives me an idea. I'll be careful
Finally
not to
gonna play
scratch the
fetch.
ball, but it's a pretty heavy ball. I'll try to entertain the puppy with the ball, but not damage the puppy or the ball.
Did everybody just ignore what Raby was telling the party in his brief discussion with the ball? But no, look, continue.
I'd like it to meet everybody.
So, Jorg, I would say if you... Are you paying more attention to your puppy or what's going on outside?
I'm gonna pay more attention to what's going on outside. It's just idle.
So once in a while, you just roll the ball away and you wait for your puppy to get it back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tobiyashi, you're gonna have one interesting conversation in the morning. So, Jorg,
Hopefully, it keeps getting passed on to the next person.
Jorg, make your perception roll, please.
All right, I got pretty good perception right here. Ooh, a 19.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
You are paying more attention to outside than what's inside the ball. So you distractingly just roll the ball away, and your puppy Meg always gets it back. There are a few moments where you see your puppy just start growling at the ball, but since it's a puppy, it's a very faint growl. And you know that the bubble absorbs sound and image, so you're pretty confident that, all right, no one's hearing that outside. And you see your puppy just waiting in front of the ball, and it sees the balls vibrating a little bit, and it puts itself in a playful posture. I don't know if you know which posture I'm referring to. It's when they just... Yeah, all right.
Butt up.
Yeah,
Damn.
the behind of the dog is up and the front is really low. And he just looks at the ball and he starts giving it small pat and then pushes it away and then jump on it and rolls with the ball and then suddenly lets it roll away and then get the ball and go get it to you. And you just take the ball and just let it roll on the floor while you're watching again outside. You feel that the vibration during the night gets a little bit more intense, but nothing else is happening with this. So, oh goodness!
Oh, the
Luckily,
mall's
it just got
probably at
fed
least-
when I got murdered by lightning.
You look outside, and throughout the night, well, throughout the morning, I'd say, you see a lot more traffic. You see two more groups with people being carried. A group of only 5 peasant and a group of 12 peasant being taken in the same staircase. You also see several smaller group of probably just patrols, because they have the same composition as the one that Tobiyashi saw. It was 1 priest and 4 barbarians following it. You see 2 or 3 of those groups go down the stairs, and you even see one going up. They're all going in the same direction, or roughly in the same direction. During the morning, you even hear what you think, well, what feels like bat wings. Just go. But,
Is that?
yeah.
It's not abnormal.
No, it's not abnormal to hear bats, especially when you're just a few hours away from an opening outside. And since you are getting inside of a very large cavern, there could be opening somewhere else, maybe straight up, which would mean there's probably a very large community of bats living at the top of whatever city this is. You see at one point one person that looks a little bit more important. They have a more elaborate robes, and the insignia of the hunter cult is more prominent. And he walks impatiently, just goes by, and there are a few priests that follows it. The person looks like a half-orc, a male half-orc. Just before going down the stairs, he turns around, looks at them. Make sure no one disturbs us. No one that you care if they die or not. Immediately the 2 priests. Yeah, no, we know. It's almost over. It's a good thing, sir. It's we've heard of other parties also attacking other parts of the mountains. There's a large group coming in from near the ocean. They've just been steamrolling us. No, that's not a good word. Sorry. They do. Well, no. Because of magic, you'd go right above steam, so that's not a good. But you get the idea. Sorry. They've just been killing everyone. They've gone through 2 of the monastery. 2. Sorry. You hear the more annoyed one, the one that is the half-orc. Just, don't worry, he's gonna be there. very soon. The ritual is almost over. Anyone in the room is simply gonna get absorbed. We have enough, it's gonna work. It's just a question of how well it's going to work. Make sure there's no distraction. He's not gonna enjoy this if it's interrupted before its time. The two just go, yes, sir. What should we do about the party we've heard has entered the mountain? Well, if they're dumb enough to go try and get inside of the temple, they're just gonna become part of the ritual. If they don't get eaten by those flying rodents. They're not gonna take them to the ritual? No, they've been told they can do whatever they want with them now. 4 people are not gonna matter more. Even though they do seem a little stronger, they would make for better diamonds. You see the 2 other just nod and leave, not looking down. You see this person, this half-orc man, just then starts walking down the stairs. That's all you get from your evening.
That's pretty eventful evening.
At the end of your turn, you take the ball away from your puppy. It's vibrating pretty hard. Not a strong vibration that your whole body's vibrating with it, but it feels like you're something that's, if you know that a child would love this, you'd give it to a child and he would probably just go but your shift ends and audience is the next one on the list. So you go and waking up.
Okay. Audience.
Alright, I'll wake up. My turn to watch?
Yeah. So, 2 things. One, Tobiyashi says to keep this company, and I hand him the ball. And also,
Yes.
I just heard there were cultists talking. They're talking about how there's not much time until the ritual's done. There's like flying rodents or something that want to eat us. So yeah, there's that. But the cult god isn't happy, and he really doesn't want to be interrupted during the ritual. And everyone that's in the temple during the ritual is going to get absorbed. So this is that's basically what I heard.
Alright,
Yeah.
okay. I'll keep an eye out.
All right.
Let's see how well I keep an eye out. Going
Yeah.
audience, not that well.
He's too enamored with the ball that he was just given.
Alright, dice. You know what I want? I want to see that sweet 2-0. 2-0. 2-0.
Let's go.
So you rolled a
that's
2?
That's a 9. No, I rolled a 9. Which
So
is pretty
you're
standard for
you're
audience.
slightly fascinated by this vibrating ball. You don't know what's inside. You just hear it go.
I try. I'm gonna kind of like try and open it for a little bit. Use it as like a stress thing.
You look at it and for a moment, and it takes a while. There's some intricate design on it, and there's some slight slits that allows you to see inside, and you do see something rolling inside very fast. You decide to pick at one of the slits because you see that there is something different about this one. So you start trying to open it, and it doesn't want to come. It's a bit hard. You'd either need a good tool or a good athletics roll.
Alright, well, all athletics. So I've got a tool. Oh, that was the perception roll I wanted. Oh, well. I got
Oh
a
my
20.
gosh.
I got a 25.
So you start pulling on the ball. And, alright, yeah, you do feel like your nails are getting inside of a crack, and you pull on it really hard. And then you hear just this...
Oh no!
I'm sorry,
Oh.
Toby.
Oh no! What?
I don't know. It heard me talking about getting it out of the guard at night.
Oh.
So,
And I look in. What do I see?
you start opening it slightly, and... well, the last energy he has is fire, so... You open it slightly, and then there's this ball of smoke and vibration that just bursts out, hits you once, and then suddenly it bursts into flame, and then hits you again for 8 points of fire damage and 9 points of thunder damage. And then it
Well,
just keeps...
Cut in half. Oh no, thunder, not cut.
Yeah,
in half.
thunder damage would be cut in half. And it just keeps vibrating right in front of you, and for a moment it feels like you're watching at a bee that is really angry at you.
Alright, and then I'm gonna heal that back up using. Wait,
I said take care of it, not break it open.
I don't know. I'll use most of the rest of my land. I'll get them all back when I'm done resting, anyways.
Yeah.
Well, so long as you don't fall into combat, you're still gonna get the long rest, but you have to be careful now. Your long rest is in jeopardy. So what do you do? It's hovering in front of you. It feels like a bee that's really mad.
I'll go. I'm sorry I disturbed you. I'm a friend of Tobayashi's. I was told to hold this ball. I assumed that meant try and open it. I don't know.
Okay, make a persuasion roll.
That's
You got
a
charisma, right?
unnatural 20.
Let's go.
Oh. Out of anywhere you could have done that.
You see it vibrating in front of you. Then it floats slowly toward you, just vibrating like this. All you see is this ball of smoke and thunder that comes right next to you, in front of you, looks at you.
Audience resists the urge to hit it.
And then you feel a really nasty shock on your nose. Feels like the proportion have been reversed. It's like watching a cat getting hit by a static shock. For the cat,
Luckily, I'm resistant to shocks.
Yeah.
For a cat, it hurts like hell. They even jump up sometime when this happens. But that's the image that comes in your mind when this happens. You feel this shock on your nose and just go, oh, jeez. I'm gonna make you do a Constitution saving throw. Don't worry, it's nothing very serious. It's just 6. For a moment, you feel your nose and part of your mouth just going numb, and you try and talk to the board, but good God, what happened? All the upper part of your mouth and your nose become completely numb. Get the feeling that the creature understood you, but still gave you a slap. And then it goes away, and it starts floating above Tobiyashi, and you get the feeling it's staring at you.
Alright, I'm like, Guess Toby's gonna have an interesting wake up.
It's been abused.
I'm just gonna kind of slowly take the orb that's now kind of open and just kind of roll it towards Toby and then go back to looking outside. Like, this is your home. Have it if you want. That's probably why I rolled a 9 on my because I was too distracted by this bumblebee. That was most of my watch, was me interacting with this thing.
It's the numb feeling in your nose and in your mouth. You just keep going. Ah. So you don't notice a lot. You see one person, one group of person, another priest and 4 barbarian just walk at one point. They just go down the stairs and they go away.
There's so many people down there now.
Well, I think we figured out it's the right way to go.
Yeah, at least that. Just before the end of your watch, however, you do get a message from your cat, but it's probably not the message that you want to hear, because you sort of hear it arrive in your range, and it just go, it's the right place, it's on me, God! And it cuts there, and you feel the connection breaks. You have the feeling that it was looking up, just as it said, it's on me.
It's the right place. Got it. Thank you.
Oops.
I will use a level 2 spell slot to resummon my cat next to me for my long rest so I can get it back.
Oh, well, you're inside of your long rest. If you do that, you're gonna break your rest.
Damn it.
And that's a bit iffy, because you could still get a long rest even after like as long as it's under an hour of intense activity. It's accounting for the fact that your long rest is interrupted, but no longer than an hour.
What is my? What does it do for casting?
That's
the
right.
spell?
That's right. You could have one
Steed.
fight.
And Find Steed is also. It's only a 10-minute casting time.
But is it that you're like it's since it's halfway through, you wouldn't get your spell slot back, but you'd still get the long rest?
Usually the answer is in the wording. So the problem is when you enter long rest in a search in the book, it takes a year and a half to find the answer.
Well, I don't encourage this, but and to be clear, anybody who happens to be watching, please don't do this to your DMs. By raw, like everything is recovered at the end of a long rest, and anything used before it is successfully recovered at that exact endpoint. And many people try to take advantage of this with an exploit referred to as coffee lock.
Okay, so the thing is, here's the wording that if the rest is interrupted by a period of strenuous activity, at least 1 hour of walking, fighting, casting spells, or similar adventuring activity, the character must begin the rest again to gain any benefit from it. So judging from this wording exactly, you'd be able to cast it, and you'll get your benefit.
And the spell slot back.
Anyways,
Correct.
I just have to emphasize,
Yeah.
Nobody out there, don't coffee lock. It's not cool. It's very gamey and not adventure-y. Anyways, continue.
So
Anyway,
That's my PSA.
in character, I would resummon my cat anyway.
Okay.
But it's fine. Because I'd want the information. But anyway, it's fine.
No,
I'll
but
resummon my cat.
yeah, you can summon it.
Okay.
So you concentrate on the spell, you make it appear in front of you, and you get this moment of
Or they're giant bats that eat people.
Something like that. But they're made of stone.
Okay.
Sam knows what creature this is. Audience doesn't.
Fun. I hope we have a lot of your spells, Avery. I don't want to fight.
Oh.
Anyway. Alright, I'll be like, so did you get all the way to the... How far did you get?
I just had time to get back into speaking range, so 3 hours and a half. I ran for part of it. As soon as I saw that there were no one and I could see the inside of the city and the center, the temple is huge.
Okay. So how many hours out is the temple?
3.5 hours, but I ran for 1 hour on this, so maybe for all of you it would be 4 hours, maybe 5.
Okay, good to know. Thank you for your... Thank you, that was really helpful. I'm sorry you had to experience
Yeah.
the flying gargoyle.
I didn't know. They tear you apart, quite literally.
Well, the more you know, they say. Knowledge is a gift, a blessing.
Yeah. Those who say that never experience that knowledge. He just plops down and then looks at the thing vibrating on top of Tobiyashi. What's that?
I don't know. I thought it was a toy. It wasn't a toy. And that's kind of the end of that story.
Right.
You know, like a ball. Like, you would want to open a ball too, right? You're a cat.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah, of course. Just a ball? No, yeah, of course I get it.
Yeah. I'll point to the ball, so I opened it, and it got upset.
All right. More knowledge. Balls get upset when you open them.
Oh. You know, audience, though, and none of you were there except for Toby for this, but you remember the wind orb at the very beginning that he tried to open? Hand him a ball, he tries to open it.
And
That was episode 2 or 3, I think.
something like that. Well, technically, audience wanted to smash the ball. So, he looks at you. I'm getting now. You have to wake him up, and he starts just getting small taps on Remy's head, like cat do.
Yeah. Alright, Remy, you wake up.
You are woken up by a huge battle cat. Fortunately, you recognize it as audience's battle cat. It does take 5 seconds before you notice that.
I just want to imagine just like Ramy's just like groggily, just like wait a minute, I don't remember summoning. Eyes up and wide, then back to normal size once he realizes who it actually is.
Yeah.
Just that brief panic.
Audience will go to Remy. He'll give him the information that the cat gave him. Basically, we're 5 hours from the temple. Also, what Jorg said about that being guarded. I'll give the information Jorg gave me. The information the cat gave me also about the stone creatures, in case Remy knows what those are. I assume the player does, but I don't know if Remy specifically knows. And then I will also point to the flying thing and be like, so that was the ball I was given by Jorg. Apparently it's Toby's. That's a thing. Don't touch it. It gets upset because I opened its orb. It did like a lot of fire and thunder damage to me. I healed myself, so I'm fine. But just leave it be. Toby can deal with it in the morning. Or the late afternoon.
I didn't break the vase.
I don't know. would gargoyles have been something that Raimi came across? Obviously not literally, but
Bambi, you gave it away to the audience. Nobody
You
knew.
already
oh, I'm sorry.
You did
Hold
say
on.
gargoyle.
It's like Draken. Do I know what this stone bat-like creature is?
I would say
No, what's the
you
point
would
of the
have to
script?
make an Arcana roll.
Then I will make an Arcana roll.
Oh, wait. I gotta do that.
Remember, we have a script here. You gotta read it.
All right, so this is actually toward Tobiyashi, the player. I need you to record that sentence for yourself and read that back and look at. All right. I don't know. Is a 19 sufficient for this Arcana roll to know what maybe this creature is, or at least a name?
A name, yes. You'd know that this is what the gargoyles on churches are based on. You'd have very basic information. You know that it's an elemental creature. It's meant to guard things and push people away. So it's not nice. This is why people put it on church, to frighten enemies away. And yeah, you sort of have a feeling of, okay, I think it's gargoyle. They're not good.
All right. So then Raimi will minor illusion a gargoyle that he has probably seen on a church. Obviously
that would be
obviously
very
not
easy.
the creature itself, but to get the message across.
Oh,
Alright.
the audience.
Audience will probably understand that.
Yeah, you've seen gargoyles on church. I mean, you're a paladin. You've visited other temples. You were
Alright.
curious, especially when you just left, you know.
I'll be like, alright, well, we'll try and watch out and hopefully not have to engage one of those, since it seems to have torn apart my cat almost instantly. So
Your cat says there's more than one. he says it in a way sort of saying, I didn't get beaten by one, all right? That's how he sort of
Alright.
say it.
apparently there's more than one.
Raimi just gives a pitying look toward the cat and gives it an affection.
Yeah, and you remember reading that those creatures are sadistic level of cruel.
He gives him extra affection.
All right. So,
recognizing that this party has an unfortunate history with mistreatment of their NPC allies.
animal cruelty. And elemental cruelty. All right. All right. Well, audience, you get to go back to sleep, and just as you start drifting away, Remy gives reassurance to your cat, and you fall asleep with the feeling of your cat saying, "Oh, that feels nice." All right. Well, then we're gonna end with Remy. Make your perception roll for your last 2 hours.
Also, by the way, is that ball still like angrily vibrating above Tobiyashi?
Oh yeah, it's watching audience, and it's watching you. Now that audience goes to sleep.
You know, like maybe just like de-escalate whatever precisely audience did. He doesn't know exactly what happened, but Radia is going to trying to I guess it would be whistle a sort of melodic tune. Like a soothing melodic tune, throughout his watch. in an attempt to soothe the raging ball.
With a
Since it seemed to respond well to it previously.
with a 3 on the roll, you get the feeling that it has a mild effect. It is really pissed off, but it seems to recognize the effort, but it's still really pissed off.
Big anime sweat drop, but yeah, I'll go ahead and roll the perception. You know, I'm glad that I just always have the opportunity to roll things that I am proficient in, because even low rolls look nice. 17.
All right. Well, a bit of your attention is spent on that creature that just keeps buzzing, and it feels like there's a small cloud of bees right behind you, just going. But you manage to push it aside in your mind and look outside. And now suddenly the hearing of a bat flapping in the distance takes on a new meaning. You hear the in the distance. Okay. But okay. Throughout the night, not a lot happens. Well, it's now the day, but for you, it's the end of the night.
And their sleep schedule is going to be fucked after this.
Yeah, a little bit. So you find yourself thinking a bit, but you look outside and nothing seems to be happening. You only see 2 of those, 1 priest and 4 barbarian patrol. One comes surprisingly close to the building where you are, but they turn right the street before the building you're in. The only thing which feels a bit odd in the entire night is that at one point you do notice that you've been discovered by the local fauna. You see something that looks like a badger just staring at the walls. He even gets close to the walls and starts scratching it. And moving a bit away, a bit to the side and trying to make its way inside. But after half an hour, it just loses interest and moves away. That's it. That's all that happens during your evening. Just like Tobiyashi, you have a pretty quiet evening. Well, aside from the bees just looking at you and still being mad. But your shift goes on and nothing else happens. After 8 hours, the party starts automatically just being groggy a bit. You notice that everyone's rest seems to be a bit more restless, and then suddenly you see your bubble just go and the influx of fresh air from the outside sort of finish waking up everyone, and everyone's just sort of wakes up. Jorg watching at audience, and then watching on top of Tobiyashi. Audience just watching Tobiyashi from the side of his eye, just, acting like someone. Not my fault.
I wake up, I'm like,
Tobiyashi.
Look up, I'm like,
Tobiyashi, you wake up with a ball of shivering energy hovering right above your head, and you recognize that shivering, that buzzing sound. It is mad pissed off as hell. It wants to fight, and
I look at Jorg really quick. I'm like, before I say anything, I kind of just like point at it. I'm like, what the fuck? What is this?
I don't know. I don't know what that thing is.
Who the hell let it out?
you see the ball right in front of you. Its latch to open it forced broken.
Now I wonder
that's
who's
what
the
you-
only strongest member of the party who could actually do that.
I look over at audience, kind of thinking about it for a second. I'm like, how the hell did he get the ball? I'm like, what the fuck? I pick up the ball and I'm gonna try to go up to the thing in the air, and I'm gonna try to coerce it back into the ball like I did before.
Make a persuasion roll. And
I'm
gonna
like,
give
I'm
you,
sorry, I don't know what.
I'm
I
gonna
don't know
give.
why you're so mad, but can you please get in?
I'm gonna give you advantage because it's something you did before.
All right, so persuasion.
Yeah, you're trying to persuade it to go back inside the ball. Unless you are trying to catch it with your hands.
It is 11. Is this an 11?
It takes a while. You try to convince it and it keeps moving away. It keeps going in front of his ball and then moving away, sort of as if you sort of get this feeling of, my home's been violated.
I'm sorry, I'll get you a better one. Don't worry about it, I'll have more room in it. I'm sorry that this happened, it wasn't supposed to.
It makes a few rounds around the entire party. It focuses more on Jorg and audience. And then get the feeling that it's mad about something with both of them.
Hold on. You know what? I'm not sure how long this particular exchange is happening, but
With an
since
11?
Randy would have been curious.
With an 11, probably a good 15 minutes before Tobiyashi manages to calm it down enough to go back in the ball.
Okay, so for the duration of the 10 of that 15 minutes, just like Raimi shrugs his shoulders and Rich will cast comprehend languages because
So, when comprehend language kicks in, you get the feeling that a bit of the rage has passed, but you basically hear, and this creature just keeps giving me to this smaller creature, which just push me everywhere, and they just keep pounding on it, and this idiot one just breaks it, he breaks it. I want blood. I want to eat his entrails. Let me give it to him. Let me eat him. I want to kill it.
Jesus. I didn't know he was so angry.
I want to roast
no,
him from the
he's
inside.
going to start running out of sweat glands for how many sweat drops he's done over the past 24 hours.
You even hear it cries out, "Give me more dust. I'm gonna roast it."
I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong. What the hell happened? What'd you guys do? I look over the audience and Jorg. I'm like, what the hell happened? I told you to watch it, not to antagonize it.
Audience goes, Jorg gave me a ball, a vibrating ball, didn't tell me anything, so I opened it.
God damn it. And I finished trying to put him back into the ball for the last 5 minutes.
After 5 minutes, you get the feeling that it's getting tired from this exertion, and not the bad mood is going away. It's just I'm gonna roast him alive when he sleeps next time. But he's getting tired, and he eventually just slides back inside the ball. And you hear, Remy, the last few things he says, my door is broken.
As I see the door broken, I'm gonna try to, like, fix it a little bit, I guess, as much as I can. Like, try to bend it back to where it looks like it's closed. And then just like,
Well, you can close it, but it doesn't lock anymore.
Okay. All right. Damn.
Remy, you see the ball dangling at the side of Tobiyashi, and you just hear these muffled sounds. Puppy, I'm gonna burn it alive. I'm gonna burn the puppy alive also.
Burn the puppy alive.
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
We're getting.
I just want everyone to know that just like Ravi has just the biggest concerned look on his face.
We'll see what happens when he tries to pet a burning dog.
Well, at least it's ready for battle now. I'm like, geez. As everyone else is getting ready to go, I'm most likely sure they are ready to go at the end of this. I'm like, well, is everybody ready? How are we gonna do this?
I guess I'll give all the information I was given by my cat.
All right. So, I because audience, you said you might be absent next episode. I was gonna say we can go over the plans next episode, but maybe we should end with the decision on what the plan's gonna be.
Well, 5 hours. Wait, how long can you do your stealth thing for, George? But then that would use all your spell slots,
So
right?
let's use all of my spell slots, but I've got 5 hours of it.
So we could get there, but then you'd have no spell slots.
Yeah.
So the real question is, would we rather get there and kind of get a free pass by the gargoyles, but then have our druid without spell slots, or would we rather try and save some spell slots and risk being attacked by gargoyles?
Trying to fight him.
I'd prefer trying to fight them.
But if there's
Above
many
game.
of them. Yeah.
Above game, there is always the possibility of initially sneaking, and if we come into an area that looks like it might be harder to sneak without assistance, then we use spell slots then.
We
Yeah.
could do that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to get caught in a fight before trying to rescue, but yeah, I don't know. We also don't want to use all of our spell slots. Especially when if we are going to have to fight this, at least one druid whoever this lady is who's running the ritual, I assume she's probably not going to just kind of go down freely.
I
So.
didn't remember the name I told. No, I'm just like...
I mean, I put it in my notes. I just didn't look at my notes for that.
Just druid lady, it's fine.
It was Solanus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Close enough.
I assume she's not going to go down freely. I assume she's not just going to bend over and let us stick a sword in her. Anyway.
Careful, you're walking on a very dangerous slope with these words.
Well,
As he's explaining this, I'm still trying to calm down my ball a little bit more. Just talking.
Alright. I mean, I agree with Remy above game that I think we should just stealth normally, and then if we kind of come across an area that seems to be populated by these gargoyles, we maybe then use a spell slot.
I like that idea too.
Alright, I'm down for whatever.
Oh, I think we should initially use a spell slot to get down the stairs too, because it's like
Oh yeah, the
stairs.
stairs are gonna be sketchy.
Did you say that one of them wasn't... Did any of you guys mention that they're elementals? Or no?
Well, Remy would know that this creature is from the elemental earth plane, but I don't know how he would.
Oh! Would I have read anything about it since I did studying for a long time?
It would be Arcana.
Or at least heard a story. Arcana. Okay, let's roll it. Ooh! A 20, a dirty 20.
Just 1 point above what Remy rolled. Um, most of the information would be exactly the same as I said to Remy. You know that
Yeah.
they're from the plane of Earth, or in this case, the shard of Earth, a earthen shard. Um, they do look like bats. They're the gargoyle on churches are modeled after them. They're known to be cruel creatures and very patient one also. You know that when they're just standing still, they are impossible to discern from an actual gargoyle.
All right.
Um,
Would I know if they gave crystals?
um, I'd say no because you never knew about this.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
So you'd know that there might be a chance, but there are too many factors about those crystals and
Yeah.
dust that you don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
One more question.
yeah.
If I were to ask my scroll for a full layout of the whole entire area, would it be able to give me one?
Oh.
Since I don't know exactly how it works.
So the way that I gave this to you with the scroll is that you have a limited guaranteed
38 pieces.
natural 20 result with history related stuff.
Okay.
You might find something in there, but I'd say think about it from this side of your character. If you find something in there, it also means that this place has a historical significance.
Okay.
And you'd only find...
I don't know how long it's been here, so...
You don't know how long it's been here? And your whatever information you would have would not include collapsed passageway or things like that. But you probably have quite a bit of history with the place, what happened in the past. The temple, if it has defenses which were made by the original owners of this city, they would be in there, but it wouldn't be in there if those defenses were added after it's been
later.
abandoned.
Okay. All right. Don't know if we could find a secret passage that way, but I don't even know how long it's been here, so I don't think I would try.
Okay.
That was it.
All right, so the plan has been laid. Magic to go down the stairs, and after that, magic only if you think you can't get through an area without being spotted by gargoyles.
Yep.
And hopefully, next episode, you won't do something that'll have you fight a god with one player less.
Yeah.
With our other tank
That's
gone.
called how you party wipe. So let's not do that.
Audience is like, I left something at home. I gotta go back real quick. So see you guys later.
No, for those
My
of
god
you
told me you guys were all gonna die. So
for
I'm
those
gonna-
of you wondering, audience is not leaving the group. It's just that next week he's going to be in a different location, one where the internet connection is uncertain. So he could be there, but also with a very bad connection. So he could be there and keep dropping off, or he might be there for the entire episode, or not at all when we start. So it's a bit of a gamble. But don't worry, it's only going to be one episode. It's not going to be for more. If it is for more, I am gonna do the same thing to you as this buzzing creature said.
It won't be. It'll just be
You
for the
get
one.
burnt alive. My creature finds you in your sleep.
No, it'll just be one.
Alright, so the plan has been laid, and next episode we'll carry out this plan, and hopefully the players will survive next episode, especially if audience is not there. They have to survive next episode. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you had a pleasant evening. My voice is going to be so glad that this episode is over. I have over-texted with the last bit with the creature inside the ball. So, I hope you enjoyed the show. I hope you're going to be back next week. If you missed the episode, there is a rebroadcast on Friday. It's a bit early for those living on the West Coast, but it's perfect hours for those living on the East Coast. So I hope at least someone is going to be there. And as always, if you enjoyed the show, follow us. You can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube. You can also support the stream by making a donation, becoming a Patreon, subscribing on Twitch, or simply by spreading the word. Letting your friends know how interesting this channel is, the amount of NPC cruelty you all find yourself watching, and how the player keeps losing NPCs, which can basically come back whenever they want. Let it be known for those who have multiple lives, it's not because you have more than one lives that they're all going to be fun to live. So, see you all next week, see you all next episode, or on the rebroadcast. And until then, stay safe, and as always, in these viral times, stay healthy. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.